And almost finished re-rendering. Almost finished re-rendering. Hello. It's showtime. Watto's back, baby. We had a real scare there. Watto got deleted. He died, and for a brief period of time, it felt like, and it's scary to even mention this, it felt like Watto was going to have to be remastered in 4K. Ooh. Ooh. But thankfully, George had a backup thumb drive. Of course, branded around Speedy Gonzalez, a real comedy cousin of Watto in terms of cultural sensitivity. And so I'm back, baby. I should mention, though, it's a fresh render, right? This is a new backup. It's a little raw. So Watto might not be at full fighting weight, this week. And to that point, Watto's stomach is it's still sort of processing. It's still in the rainbow data wheel. So I couldn't order a pastrami sandwich this week. I couldn't. It's just my stomach couldn't take it. I couldn't do it, unfortunately. I did order something else, though. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to present, for Watto's comfort for the first time, a very special new item. Okay. This is a deli Wellington. It's corned beef and pastrami, baked beef Wellington style. Much better. Okay, I got my deli Wellington. Let's see the hashtags. Hashtag America Scott Grad Aukerman. Hashtag Between Our Two Ferns. Hashtag Cloud City Bang Bang. I guess to make that one work, you have to say like Cloud City Bang Bang, Cloud City. You have to run Cloud City together as one word. Skywalkerman. Yeah, fine. Hashtag Niccole Thurman. I feel like that's a real go-to. You got to just fit both guest names into Amera blank, Gra blank. No matter how uncomfortable the fit, it must be crammed. Hashtag the Journal of the Shrills. So that's the Hulu Shrill and the Journal of the Wills being elegantly paired. Grace and Frankie Oz. That's a Grace and Frankie joke. Frank Oz. Yoda. Hashtag Watto's back. You know what? I mean, feel free to disregard a lot of those earlier hashtags and just go for Watto's back, because that's the real headline this week. And of course, the hashtags are what we use to simulate a real audience reaction. So remember, you're in the live chat. Laugh very loudly. Clap really loudly. Tweet. Make your fan art. Do whatever the fuck you want to do. I don't know. Let me eat my deli Wellington. Let's start this show.
Hello, I'm George Lucas, creator of Star Wars. Welcome to the George Lucas Talk Show. It's very exciting to welcome back in fully re-rendered form my companion, as always, Watto, my dear friend. Are you there?
Yeah, happy to be here, George.
I think you look great, Watto. You're feeling all right?
Oh, I mean, I haven't felt this good since I don't know, my last firmware update. Does that track?
Yeah, that tracks 100%, Watto. Well, I tell you, it was quite a journey. It was a hero's journey.
Yeah.
And I believe we have you running on some good hardware. I don't think that will happen again for a very long time.
No. I mean, before, it was a Gateway 2000, and you've gone up one model now. So I think I feel good about this. I want to say, I, of course, was watching last week from the cloud. And I was watching it, and I was very unhappy for most of the show because you guys were having too much fun. You had great guests. You had Cameron Esposito, you had Darcy Carden, and they were having too much fun. And I said, no, these should be a week of mourning. How dare these motherfuckers try to make some fun comedy when Watto is dead? And then, you pulled it around. You came around. You paid some respect.
Well, I always have nothing but respect for you. But also, I think for me personally, I was just aware from a technological standpoint that you weren't really dead. So as the storyteller, I know where the story is going, so I don't have to be as emotionally invested as the audience would be.
That is classic George right there. He does not even give himself time to grieve because he's already in problem solving.
Right. It's all about telling stories, and that's fundamentally for me. That's where the action is.
Yes.
And as long as the audience is invested emotionally, I don't have to go to that well.
I want to say, George, I feel pretty quickly I have learned that a deli Wellington is harder to eat than a normal pastrami sandwich.
Oh, that's interesting. What's the most difficult aspect of it? Is it the shape?
I think it's the shape. I think it's harder to take a bite. It tastes great.
Can you put it in the camera range again? Can we see it?
Yes. Okay. So this is the deeper I go into it, the taller it becomes.
Honestly, I'm getting serious Jedi vibes on that. It looks like when the partly built Death Star from 6.
You're saying it looks like the Death Star too?
Yeah, I mean it looks like roughly 1/3 of a Death Star.
If you stack,
so I would be careful because it's
like
capable. Yeah, that's a dangerous shape to eat.
It's perhaps capable of greater damage than we can even know.
Right. Now, obviously, we in our reality that it's different than the reality of the films, obviously. But
yeah,
I would be very concerned that perhaps midway through the night, people might be able to sense, you crying out in agony from having ingested that.
Some of you're saying some of our viewers might have a bad feeling about this and where it is going.
Look who it is. Look who snuck onto the stream here. It's
our of course, Patrick. Because George, you start alluding to some drama that might hit the screen later, and our producer, of course, he's a messy bitch.
I was just going to say that you better hope that when it hits your stomach, that thing isn't operational. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay.
Oh, wow, he's coming with what is that? It's coming with some pitches.
Yeah, messy bitch who lives for the jokes. You trying to rebrand?
Yeah. Does this look like the room? You come into work just like this is the writer's room?
Does this look like the room? Let me ask you, does this look like the room?
I'm just throwing stuff out, see what sticks,
He thinks it's a room. George, I got to congratulate you quickly before our guests come in.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you know this. Today, officially, the 25th anniversary of Toy Story.
That's right.
Wow. Congrats, George.
Wow. Now, George, of course, it's congratulations to you because much as we know that you created the first film in the Marvel film franchise, Howard the Duck, you, of course, were the original owner of Pixar. You created the adventures of Andre and Wally B.
That's right.
You produced that, so technically you're responsible for the entire Toy Story franchise. So happy you had that at hand, George.
Why does everybody have Toy Story stuff?
Right. Well, because it's the 25th anniversary, Patrick. It's a holiday. You'll get some Toy Story stuff to celebrate, Patrick.
Go get some Toy Story stuff to celebrate that.
Look at this. Basically, like Woody's lasso looks like a combination of Indiana Jones's whip and the snakes that he fears so very much.
Oh, look at Patrick's got his physical media.
You gotta. You love it.
Right. Right. Also available on Plus, unlike a lot of material. Well, Patrick, this is normally the part of the show that you scold us and tell us that we have guests waiting in the green room that we should bring in.
Do you want me to do that?
Why aren't you scolding us, Patrick?
I can do it. Hang on.
Where's the scold? Where's the
George,
scold?
George, Watto, Watto.
Yeah.
We got guests. Can we bring the guests in? I don't want to make them sad.
Well, absolutely. Now let's go ahead and let's ask the guests, as we like to do on the show, how they like to be introduced.
Yes, this is a very fun. This is a George Lucas Talk Show specialty.
Right.
We don't prep introductions for our guests. We don't ask for what credits they want to be listed with before we go live. We under the gun at 8:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ask them to type in the private chat what Watto will read verbatim. And we got one. It's good.
Oh,
it's good.
That's great.
And I'm waiting on two.
It better be just as good.
I think it would be. We got two great guests this week. We got two great guests this week.
This is a way of getting past, in case the guest has a team, this is a way of freeing them from their team.
We hate teams.
Yeah.
We don't deal
the
with
team will try to meddle with the intro, make sure it's serving all purposes. But we like to get what the guests want to be introduced as. This is their opportunity.
And George, you want to know what the guests want to be introduced as?
I'd love to know it.
You know him as the third head on Mount Podmore, and you know her as the sweatpants queen and plant killer. Ladies and gentlemen, Scott Aukerman and Niccole Thurman!
What up?
Hi, guys.
What's up?
Hello.
George, Watto, Patrick.
Scott, Niccole, welcome to the show. So happy 25th anniversary of Toy Story to both of you.
I've been celebrating it all day.
Thank you. I don't think I have Toy Story stuff here. Well, this kind of is a Toy Story. It's headphones with a hat. Is that?
Yeah,
yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
At the rate that they are cranking out Toy Story films and TV specials, I think that you may have just premiered a new character.
They seemed at the rate of what, one every 3-4 years?
Yeah,
10. It's roughly 10, but yeah.
Yeah, if you count the shorts and the ABC TV specials, it narrows it down a little bit. You could end up being the focus of a Toy Story, the land.
What are you talking about? Toy Story of Terror, Toy Story of the Time Forgot, Part of the Story, Rex, Small Fry.
Yeah,
you're talking Hawaiian Vacation.
Niccole said, "I'm out." She said, "I don't want to talk about Toy anymore. I'm gone."
Okay.
Count the shorts. It sounds like me at the neighborhood pool. Am I right, Watto? Watto, come on.
Scott, it ain't joke week, okay? You got to watch that attitude. It's not joke week. There's a time and a place for jokes, and it's 1 week a year.
I apologize.
Niccole, how are you feeling about the 25th anniversary of Toy Story? Are you more of a DreamWorks partisan? Are you Illumination Entertainment till death? Where do you land?
I feel really good about it. I'm really excited. I think I've only seen one Toy Story before, but it was good. How many
they call it Toy Story 1 is what they call it. Yeah, not one Toy Story. Yeah. Are you English?
Yeah, I'm English. Toy Story 1. The first Toy Story the first.
One Toy Story.
One Toy Story. But it was good. That's all I know about it. I know Woody is cute.
Did you cry when you saw? Sometimes people cry when they watch a Toy Story. They'll feel sad emotions and very intense.
Yeah, I think if you don't cry watching Pixar movies, you're like go to jail or something. So I cried for sure.
A lot of people they say they cry because it's almost like you're crying for your own childhood leaving. But I think the toys are more like pets, and so you're crying over dead pets.
Yeah.
Right.
I just want to make sure.
Watto, I want to dig into this a little bit more. Niccole said she thinks Woody's cute.
Woody is cute. There's a lot of cute cartoon characters, I think. Why are you
cute like, oh, he's adorable, or cute like
handsome?
I mean, he's pretty
Hold on.
handsome. He's like a 7.5, probably. He's pretty cute.
Not
He's
bad.
like tall and thin. Why not?
Yeah,
Yeah.
lanky, very symmetrical face.
Very symmetrical face. He knows how
Charming
to wear a good pair
personality.
of jeans. We're into him. Yeah,
Oh,
Woody's
yeah.
a snack. That's what someone says. He's cute.
He was kind of the original skinny jean hipster.
Exactly. He was a trendsetter.
He don't even have room for bones, this guy.
I know. Who needs them when you can wear jeans like that? You don't need
I
them.
just want to clarify quickly for the two of you why we're talking about this on the George Lucas talk show. George Lucas, early owner of Pixar, invested a lot of money, saw them start to produce shorts, and then said, I don't think there's any money in this, and bailed. He bailed early.
But he started it all.
He started it all.
He
Yeah.
started
I
it
still get
all.
credit for it. I still made it happen.
Do you still get paid for it?
No,
You don't
but
get
even if
money
I did,
for it?
it wouldn't matter if I had, because I would have given all the money away to education.
Okay.
Are you
museum,
like
that's what I
Jay? Are you like Jay Leno, where you don't spend any of your Star Wars money? You just spend the American Graffiti residuals, or
Well, yeah, I
Oh.
live off the American Graffiti money. That's
Yeah.
we don't. Nobody else gets that. That's for me. When I want
That's for you,
something
yeah.
nice, I spend the AG money, and a
Mm-hmm.
little bit of the more American Graffiti money. That's not as lucrative, but every now and then, like some loose change. If I need to buy like a USA Today from an old style vending machine,
you'll
I'll
just
get some of
sign
the more-
over the check to the vendor.
I'll just sign over the check for that royalty. I'll slide it into the machine and bust it open.
Mhm.
But the Star Wars money mostly goes to building my museum and to education, to funding scholarships and things like that.
That's good.
Education is very important to you,
Mhm.
especially for someone who made something, so ostensibly stupid.
Right.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Dumb. It's just
Wow.
a bunch of fast ships going real fast and they blow stuff up.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
their baby.
Not-
They're
no-
fucking
no-
goo goo gaga baby movies.
Did you do a lot of space research before setting something in space?
Yeah, I looked up. I was like, okay,
You looked at a star or two and you're like,
you
I
don't have
got
to
it.
do that much. You're just like, where do we set it? Should we set it here? No, let's set it up here. Where else?
Okay.
Oh, a desert? Yeah, have every one of the movies have a desert.
Well,
Done.
how did you come up with the name Mon Calamari?
This is a
Really?
funny story. I was actually in a seafood restaurant. It's
Really?
a chain called Captain D's. Have you heard of this? Is a regional chain. I don't know if you
Do
ever
they serve
experienced
nuts
Captain D's?
or?
Captain
What?
D's like the drive-through place?
It's like
Wait.
a Long John Silver's, but I don't think it's everywhere.
Or is that the mall? It's in the Midwest, I
No,
think, right?
they're usually. I don't think I've ever seen one in a mall, and I've looked.
Okay.
He loves to eat at the mall. It's one of George's favorite places to eat.
Patrick, can we get a shot of a Captain D's just to
Sure.
give an idea of what a Captain D's looks like?
And while Patrick is pulling this up, I want to just circle back to one of Scott's questions, because this is an interesting week. Scott
It's a good-
is himself a talk show host. You have two hosts kind of interviewing each other.
Sure.
But Scott asked a very important question. I think he was asking if D's nuts are on the menu. He asked if
I did ask that, and it
chain
kinda went,
D's serves
wow.
nuts.
Look at that.
All I'm
Okay.
seeing is green screens, but I'm imagining it.
I'm not really getting a sense of, is there a ceiling? Is there a floor?
Hang on. Okay, I got
Yeah,
one. I got
Patrick,
one.
give us a sense of the place. Tell us the
I just
story.
wanted you to know what the food looked like.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I was
Yeah.
excited to see the building.
Okay.
Captain
Let's-
There you
D's.
go. There you go. There's a very blurry
Ooh.
photo of Captain D's.
Still, I can't tell if there's a ceiling. All right.
Captain D's.
Everyone that I have been to, there was a ceiling,
Oh, okay. Great.
but
Right.
Not
that's
COVID
just my
safe.
experience. I don't want to assume there could be a kind of an open plan one that exists somewhere.
Sure.
And Patrick, while you're on the site, if you can please scan the menu thoroughly for any sort of nut products. I'm really looking
Yeah.
for an answer. on these
Because
nuts.
I have a D's allergies,
Hey.
and so I don't want
Oh,
to. I want to
They
make
haven't-
sure that I don't.
How
Okay,
are they
here
in
we
the
go,
way of
here we
being
go.
hurt?
Scott, I have an
Looking
answer
at
for you.
food.
Yes.
Here we go. You ready?
Yes, sir.
It's temporarily closed, but there's a roof.
Oh, yeah. And there's
roof.
like
So,
a red, like circular
Right.
thing sticking out of the top of the
Yeah,
roof.
yeah,
too.
yeah. yeah.
Right. So, I mean, we're assuming that a roof implies the existence of a ceiling, but we still don't have an answer, Patrick.
It's true.
Could just be nothing but roof, and then you go inside
exposed
and
duct work, and yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Patrick, we need a shot of a ceiling of a Captain D's.
Yeah, that's the thing. Google Captain D's ceiling. It should pop up right away.
Maybe something, shot from below, almost as if someone was like trying to do an upskirt cam and accidentally caught a shot of the ceiling or something like that. Could you look up Captain D's upskirt cam?
D's upskirt cam. Okay, here, just to tide us over. There's something.
Okay.
But, let's see, upskirt cam. I'm not gonna
upskirt cam. You're gonna get some.
No, we're not gonna put that one on screen.
And Patrick, we must circle back to a thorough analysis of the menu. I don't want to lose the D's nuts thread. I think this is really going to pay out. So even look to see if there's maybe like traces, is there peanut oil in their fries?
Like D's fries?
Right.
I will say, in reference to
D's fries.
In reference to the testicular joke that you're making, I don't think there are a lot of witticisms on the Captain D's menu. They're pretty straightforward. If there's a joke occasionally, I think there might be on the kids menu, there might occasionally be like a puzzle or something or a joke, but it's pretty tame. You're not going to find a lot of
very straight up.
What are the good restaurants that have jokes on the menu? I'm trying to think
Denny's has a lot of them. Denny's has like Moons Over My Hammy, the Grand
joke.
That's definitely a joke.
I think it's a joke.
100% that's a joke. Shakespeare would have put that in a play, and then people would have said that's one of his jokes.
Wait, who? Oh, the Immortal Bard.
Yeah, the Immortal Bard.
Right.
Classic Shakespeare Denny's joke. What about Rainforest Cafe, RIP? Did they have?
That's a place that you would think you would walk in and there would be no
they still have 18 locations left.
Do they have some?
Rainforest still has 18. Let's not count them out yet. There are 18 locations.
Did you base the Moon of Endor on a Rainforest Cafe that you were in?
I did.
Yeah.
That and it was sort of an amalgam of the Rainforest Cafe and also just the woods when I looked out the window and I was like, maybe we could film it here.
Right. Yeah. Watto,
maybe we merge those two ideas.
Watto, you seem to have bought that Wellington as a bit and now have crossed over into actually eating it for enjoyment. Is that right?
Right.
Or
you're describing Watto's entire life, Scott. The only variable is whether or not he enjoys it. But everything Watto does starts as a bit and then very quickly becomes a reality.
Someone made this for you, Watto, too.
Is it like just full of meat? It looks like it's full of meat.
Pastrami and corned beef.
Oh, God.
All right, Patrick, you're the producer of this show. All right.
That's true. Yeah.
While you've been dilly-dallying around looking for fan art, I found a photograph of the ceiling inside of a Captain D's.
Look at that.
Wow.
Not what I expected. I did not.
Patrick never found a photo of that ceiling.
Yeah. George clearly was not paying attention the last 5 minutes.
Right, he's literally just been Googling ceiling Captain
wow,
D's.
thanks,
Patrick, but I did your job. That's why I wasn't paying attention because, in fairness, I have produced more things than you have.
Are you sure, George, that that's not the sky camouflaged as a ceiling?
No, I would be able to see through this. There's no effects in this except for there's the flare, but that's the.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
The minute he mentioned J.J. Abrams' flare in Star Wars,
just like that,
did not kick him off.
Wow! Robot trying to silence him. Unbelievable!
Amazing.
Wow!
Watto, this is your shot, Watto.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the big question while George is gone. Have any of us ever eaten at a Captain D's? I feel like it's my assumption, right? None of us had ever even heard.
I don't know why he started talking about it.
Yeah.
How many locations do you guys think there are?
I bet there's like 100. I bet there's more than we think.
Scott?
Is that a crazy number?
I'm going to say 3.
3.
Watto?
I said 13.
What are we counting?
How many Captain D's locations there are?
A lot.
All right, that counts as a guess, I guess.
Do you have a number, Patrick? Do you know how many there are?
I do. There's 539 Captain D's locations.
Oh.
I told you it was going to be more than we thought there were. 539?
539.
Look around you. There might be one right behind you at any moment.
Oh shit, there's a Captain D's behind me.
George, why did you bring up Captain D's again? I sort of am missing.
You asked me where I came up with the idea for calling them Mon Calamari, and I was at a Captain D's.
Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened next in the story?
Oh, that's when I was like, I should have creatures that look like what I'm eating, sort of.
And
Like,
what were you eating at the time?
I think I was actually eating popcorn shrimp. And the early designs of Admiral Akbar, he looked like little popcorn shrimp. And I thought this is too cute even for me, because I thought the Ewoks, we'd already sort of set the plans in motion for the Ewoks to be these little teddy bears, and I thought we're gonna dilute the market here if I have a bunch of cute little popcorn shrimp guys.
Yeah.
So I'm
well,
like,
you're gonna split the vote. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna know which to buy.
Also, it was just expensive and time consuming to have to glue googly eyes onto each individual popcorn shrimp. This was pre-digital, you know?
Yeah. And but you know, I've Disney has my notes. They can bring these guys, because we've yet to see any of their little babies. And I know they keep adding new babies, which I'm very much in favor of.
Wait, so Disney bought not only the previous movies, but your notes?
Well, I've given them my notes and I said, I'm not going to be making any Star Wars movies. And if I do, I'm not showing them to you or anybody. Like, I might make a Star Wars movie, but I'm not going to show it to anybody. I'll just make it for me.
Like a home movie.
But you guys here's my notes. And one of them is show the little Admiral Akbar babies. Make it really cute. They look like little popcorn shrimp. Because they got so many babies now on Star Wars that they got babies eating the other babies.
Well, yeah, I was watching the Mandalorian with Baby Yoda, and then big news, I've started watching Clone Wars. And isn't there a baby, someone in that as well? Like in the early seasons, there's
Baby
like
Hut. It starts.
Yes.
Stinky the Hut. Stinky the Hut.
Yeah.
George,
So,
I do have really good news for you, George. They did listen to your notes. Here's a photo from the Marvel Comics of a little baby Mon Calamari. Look at him.
oh.
Little baby Mon Calamari. I have to somehow figure out how to get my screen to start working again because I can't see any of the pictures. I can't see any of the pictures.
I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. It's okay. That's what we're doing here.
But
Why don't you just grab your copy of the Star Wars comics wherever they are, and then
you know what? Where are they?
you let her know what page it's on.
Yeah. I've got all of them over here. Okay.
But that gives you a little bit of a window into story. Inspiration for stories is all around us. What room you're in, Scott, you could make a movie out of just whatever. I know what that frame thing is behind you.
Oh, that's a picture.
Yeah,
I framed a picture. Yeah.
All right.
Wrong, Scott. That's a future movie. That's what that is.
Yeah, you got the first frame. You got the first frame of. Now you just need anywhere from 23 to. It depends what the frame rate you want. If you're like
somewhere between 23 and 28 or so more,
or like 48, or you can bump it up. But if you want to do it traditional style, you get 23 of those babies, and you got yourself first second of a movie.
Yeah, it seems like hard work.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
How many seconds are in movies when you think about it?
Too many. Honestly, you have to sort of forget that you're having to do that many frames per second, or else it starts to get too exhausting. You have to start thinking of it in other terms.
Yeah, it must have been easy. Yeah.
No, I was going to ask if you took a lot of inspiration from George for Between Two Ferns.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, George, you were I don't think you were the first person to create totally CGI worlds. James Cameron, I think, beat you to the punch. And I'm really looking forward to Avatar, which, that movie is, so much more successful than Star Wars. The sequels are going to blow, the Star Wars sequels out of the water, I'm sure.
I agree with what I thought you were saying.
But most of the stars of that movie didn't agree to be in it, so we just CGI'd everybody.
Perfect. That's the future.
And it's really easy. Yeah, just motion capture. We did get someone to come in and do motion capture to be every star from the movie.
Was it Andy Serkis?
Yeah, and Did you say Anna Serkis?
No, Andy Serkis.
Oh, okay. No, it was Anna. It was his sister.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that she's also in the mocap game, as they say. But she doesn't get a lot of work because, you know, essentially she's like 7 feet tall, which is too tall, really. Because what ends up happening whenever she works is most people are looking up the entire time, and you know, like her head is off screen. You know what I mean? So it just doesn't work unless she's playing a giraffe or
right. I believe she was been. Yeah, I believe she was that big in Avatar. And that's why they wrote her out. Too tall.
Yeah.
I was going to say
she must have been pretty pissed. What, Patrick? What you going to say?
Not even worth it. It's not even worth it. I was going to say.
I'll hear what Patrick had to say.
Patrick, can't you mute people if they're talking over you?
Great idea. I'm going to go for
Whoa.
They're usually making Andy bigger, which is ironic because now they're making Anna small. That's it. It was not. It was
Follow-up question. Can you mute yourself?
Yeah, please.
Can you just get yourself out of here?
So you were making a joke. I was going to say something very serious. Anna must have been so upset when she saw Snoke. Right? Because here she is. She's constantly told, you're too tall for a circus. Then she goes to see The Force Awakens. Here's a 10-foot tall Andy Serkis.
Oh, yeah, they made him bigger. That's rude. They should have just hired her.
Yeah.
Rude.
Dumb.
Very rude.
Snoke is basically just smoke with a different letter in it, right? I mean, that's
smoke on the water, a fire in the sky.
That's how you know the new Star Wars doesn't have the same magic. That's not how you name a Star Wars character. You go to a Captain D's and look at the menu. That's where you find inspiration.
Right.
Every Captain D's I've ever been in the past 2 decades has had no smoking signs everywhere.
They're always out of D's nuts.
Yeah.
It's pretty disappointing. But there's 539 locations to dream at for Captain D's.
That is wild.
That's crazy.
It's really wild.
Niccole, have you ever directed anything?
Have I ever what?
Directed anything?
No, I don't think I have directed anything. I should though. I think I'd be a good director. I can be bossy.
You got the itch.
Yeah, I got the itch. When I was a little kid, I was in Cinderella as the school play. We were doing that for our school play, and I was very bossy to the other kids on the video. So I think I would be a good director. I think I was born to do it.
Okay.
Just never done it. No. Yeah. Someday I
the kind of things you would tell the other kids. Do you remember any of the specific?
I was like telling them their lines, and then I would sing some of their parts. I was like really that annoying kid. Like I wouldn't have liked me if I had seen that kid just on the street. I'd be like, that kid sucks. But yeah.
And how do you feel the production? How do you feel looking back? Was it a good production?
I think it was pretty good. We actually had really cool costumes. Yeah, for preschool, it was pretty good.
Right.
So
this was preschool.
It was preschool. I was very young.
And you had to learn lines for this? That's very young to be learning lines.
It was like one of those things where like the teachers are standing over you and they hold the microphone at the kids and the kids just say the lines, but sometimes they have to just feed it to them because they're very little. But we remembered them. Yeah.
And what role did you play in Cinderella?
I was the evil stepmother. I think it's because I was tall. Speaking of tall women.
Role.
Yeah. It was a good
role.
Your
take on her? What drives her?
Honestly, it's like she really wanted to be loved. She wanted to be a part of the family and start a family with whoever that husband was. But you know, the kids just don't like her. Her daughters are rude. Cinderella's too cute. So we're just not. You know, she had a hard time. She had a hard go of it.
Yeah,
she's kind of the Snoke of the piece in many ways.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would say too, for sure.
Patrick, show Niccole the tagline for Strange Magic right behind you.
Oh yeah, sure.
Right. See what it says there.
Strange
read it out,
Magic.
Patrick.
Yeah, you have
read
to
it.
read it.
To us.
Everyone deserves to be loved. Which feels like that should be the tagline for your Cinderella.
It should be. Everyone deserves to be loved. Really, everybody else got the shaft in Cinderella, except for Cinderella and the prince, and that's not.
Do you think that because obviously the evil stepmother, she comes into this family when the mother has perished?
I think she's dead. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it was a divorce or?
Yeah, they divorced. It just wasn't working out. They divorced.
And it becomes a blended family because she has her own daughters.
Yep. She has 2 kids. She brings.
And then the father dies.
Yeah. So then she got stuck with the
She's been
third.
through a lot.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Two dead
Cinderella
husbands.
so has the stepmother. Do you think she finds love again?
I would hope so. I don't know. She seems like she was probably pretty bitter by the end of Cinderella's story.
She's turned into a servant at the end of the story, isn't she? Like, doesn't it turn upside down, and she suddenly is the?
Oh yeah.
She and the sisters like suddenly have to serve Cinderella or something, which is like not really the nicest of endings for Cinderella to do that to her family. You know,
I know,
what I
mean?
It's like
makes Cinderella kind of a jerk too.
Yeah,
she becomes
like
the evil person.
Harriet Tubman escaping and then turning.
Work. Like I think you might learn something. I think sometimes, almost like in an undercover boss sort of way, that maybe a few years later, once the feelings sort of, because things are running pretty hot when we join the action Cinderella, everyone's kind of feeling it. And I wonder if a few years later things may be a little bit less eventful and more stable. Like there's no story there, but I think there could be a potential for healing.
Well, maybe they went to a little family therapy and kind of all got on the same page. Because that's the thing, is like they were probably all dealing with their own things. So then when they learn to work with each other, maybe they work together better.
George, I really like what you do. You take a look at the totality of a character's life and pick the boring parts and decide to make movies about them.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I would love to make a sequel. Like I know Disney did make a Cinderella 2, but I'm fairly certain it was not about the healing process that this family went through. Because they've been through the ringer. No matter how you look at it, everybody in that story has been through something. They know loss, they know real pain. I would love to make a very boring sequel to Cinderella.
What would it be called? Would it be called Cinderella again?
More Cinderella.
More Cinderella. Okay, cool. Catchy.
Or there'd be a subtitle, but I think More Cinderella. It's just about like after the drama, the healing begins. That's the tagline.
That's very good.
But Niccole just had a good title pitch. And in real George Lucas style, I think it had 2 subtitles.
What was it?
Cinderella 2, She Back, They're Working Through Shit.
Yeah,
I think that's what
She Back, They're Working Through Shit. Yeah, exactly.
George,
Cinderella 2, She Back,
She Back,
They Working
Through Shit.
Yeah,
that's great.
Cinderella, Messy Bitch, No Drama. I'm looking at the comments. We got a lot of good title suggestions there.
Yeah.
George, you mentioned Undercover Boss. Did you ever do an Undercover Boss on Star Wars?
I did during the I would sometimes sneak onto the set during the Ewok movies when we were making those for network television, and I was just producing those. And I did a little bit of second unit work, but every now and then I would dress up as an Ewok, and I would do kind of the Tim Conway trick of I would dwarf it.
Yeah.
Tim Conway had a character he used to do. Tim Conway, for people who don't know, was the comedy partner of Harvey Korman from the Star Wars Holiday Special. And I would walk around on my knees like I was in one of the Ewoks, and I would hold my arms in, and I would just, I didn't really. That was the extent of it. I didn't really get up to any tomfoolery, but it would be a way to blend in. Everybody recognized me. It didn't work.
I'll say too, it's not quite the same as an Undercover Boss, but when Phantom Menace came out, George and I would go to screenings, just head to the theater in disguise and just kind of go, wow, this movie's really good. We would just say that a lot in the theater to kind of hold morale.
I think it would have been interesting, George, if you had gone to work for Watto, at his mercantile or
A junk shop, please put some respect on my.
Sorry, junk shop is actually less respectful than mercantile.
It is.
What it is.
But you just show up as like a part-time employee, one day, and Watto bosses you around, and you learn empathy, because Watto has a tearful monologue about, his flying Jewish children that he can't feed, and the holidays are coming up.
If I really wanted him to understand what it's like to work in Watto's shop, I'd even buy George. I'd own him for like a couple hours.
Right. Yeah. That's right, because you're a slaver, is that right?
I'm a white slave owner, yes, in that I only own white people. Yes, correct.
Oh, okay, that's
right.
It is canon, as you can tell from the promotional cup from Taco Bell, Betting on a pod race is how he won his 2 slaves, Anakin and Shmi Skywalker from Gardula the Hutt. It's just important for kids to take the story home with them and just take a sip and then remember, oh yes, that character owns slaves.
Could you not afford?
That is the only Taco Bell promotional cup to ever reference slavery.
Slavery,
right? As a concept.
Yeah.
What was your question, Scott?
Could you not afford slaves? You had to bet on them in order to win them, or were slaves kind of expensive? Or?
I bought the slaves and then I bet my slaves in a bet. I wagered slaves on the pod race.
So you owned a lot of slaves, not just these 2 slaves.
Look, at any given time, I tried to keep the numbers low just because, like, who needs a house full of handfuls, you know? But over the years, yes, I've owned many different white people.
Yeah. Wow.
Watto, he's gone again. I don't know where he went. Scott, we got some fan art of you.
Oh, wow.
Wait a second. George is gone. This is my time to...
This is your moment.
Come down
to eat your meat.
Wow, that's amazing. How are people drawing these things so quickly during the show? Is this?
I don't know. They're watching. And just
I love it.
Yeah.
They're doing it right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're bringing up a great point here. Our fan base is very talented, but they also work very fast. So I always sort of like to extend to our guests. Niccole, Scott, is there anything you have ever wanted to see as fan art? It can be of you. It can be of anything. Because I always like to sort of timestamp it. At what time do you make the request? How quickly does it come in?
Okay, let's see.
Always happen under 15 minutes.
I want fan art of me as like a wrestler or something, like holding something like a championship belt above my head.
Oh, look at that. Snack bar. I would love to see George looking at Santa Claus in one of those like mirror things where the mirror has been taken out and they're doing the mirror exercise with each other.
Oh yeah, they're like doing this thing like this.
Yeah. So
good.
you know.
Okay, because
are they done?
8:48. I think we'll get it. We should get it soon.
8:48 Eastern time. We'll get it. I guarantee you. I think before 9. That's my guess.
Another one. Did you guys see this one? It says "Everyone Deserves to Be Loved" by Goop Goop.
Yes, we showed that one.
I can't see anything on the screen, so I'm just figuring it out. No, it's okay. That's cute though. I love it.
There is much debate within the community as to whether or not Goop Goop is AI. George believes that Goop Goop is not a human being and is in fact a very intelligent computer program.
Really?
This is correct.
Yeah.
When you say the community, which community are you talking? The
gay and lesbian community? Yes.
No, I'm wondering what type of alien are you, Watto? I can't recall.
Toydarian. I'm a Toydarian.
Toydarian. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Wait,
and you're a practicing Jew. Did you convert or did you? Were you born
touchy.
Or?
This is touchy because George always tries to push back against the idea that I'm Jewish. He thinks it's offensive.
Right.
And
are you?
Yes, but I, in a way, more culturally than sort of.
Did you marry into it, or?
I mean, I've married in and out of it several times. You know.
How many times have you been married, Watto?
I think it's up to 5 or 6.
Ooh.
And that's since the late 90s.
Liz Taylor of this universe.
You know, Watto, you're still alive. How it leads me to wonder, George, how long ago were the movies? You say a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Like when you say a long time ago, are you talking like 5 years or?
First of all, me being alive, touchy subject. We're not going to get into the touchy subject.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
I think the first the sequel trilogy, meaning the original trilogy that was released, probably happens around the same time as like the Spanish-American War.
Okay. What? And so then the others are 25 years before that, maybe the others 25 years after. Okay.
Yeah. It's about, and it's about. I mean, it's not that far away. It's pretty far away, but it's closer than you would think.
So Rise of the Skywalker is around the turn of the century, the 20th century or so? Which is maybe
Spanish-
why 20th Century
Spanish-American
Fox.
War- Spanish-American War is 1898.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
Rise of Skywalker.
So we're almost like
Rise of Skywalker, like the talkies are
1920s.
coming into fashion, right?
Right.
You know, like Rise of Skywalker is like around the same time as like the Jazz Singer and Steamboat Willie.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So are they getting the transmissions of all these movies? Like,
Oh, yeah.
couldn't those be in the movies now?
He cut those scenes out. Yeah.
Yeah, if I had been able to, and I pitched this to Disney, I said, here's what should happen in the sequel trilogy. I lined it all out. I said, by the way, during one of the movies, they get the first, like the short films by like Lumiere, the first sort of like silent things, and then I was like, I want to see this new generation of characters. I want to see Han Solo. When he dies, he's watching the Jazz Singer.
Someone mentioned that it's, you know, during the Roaring 20s. Like, it would be cool if like Chewbacca had a string of pearls around his neck, you know, at some point, and was dressed like a flapper at some
Charleston
point.
or something.
Yeah. Yes.
Or going into a speakeasy. Is there a speakeasy in there?
The scene of Lando getting scared by that train coming towards the screen got cut out of it. I think it's on the Blu-ray. Yeah.
I mean, that was their original issue with George's pitch, that Han Solo dies watching the Jazz Singer, was it added approximately 18 minutes to the runtime, because it was just in the middle of the film. He was going to go, let me go see this movie, and then you'd sit there and watch Han Solo watch the Jazz Singer.
One shot. It would have been. It was basically.
Oh, that's a oneer.
Yeah,
that was a oneer.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That was a oneer. And the camera
on the
would
TV
just,
screen.
Every now and then we'd pan over and we'd see, because
he's watching it.
Basically, the way we would have worked it with Harrison wasn't going to want to sit there while the whole thing. So we would have had it where he could go back to his trailer for a while, maybe fly around.
Sit there for 18 minutes during an 18-minute take. Really?
Yeah.
Was that going to go 18 minutes? That would have fit in perfectly to the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it would have been great.
You can't do a oneer longer than around 18 minutes, because that's a full reel of the movie. So
digital filmmaking, Davey.
Digital. Yeah. Digital.
But it's kind of cheating to do a oneer where you're panning to a TV screen where there are edits. You know what I mean? It's not a real oneer.
As long as you're just moving like this, right? That's a oneer.
Yeah.
You don't cut.
Yeah.
So you are constantly be moving back and forth.
Just like this.
Yeah.
The audience throws up mid shift.
It's an oscillating fan one.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I saw one of those on the ceiling of a Captain D's once.
No thanks to Patrick, who could not locate that photograph.
He never did. He truly never did.
Patrick,
you're right.
Have you tried to see if you can even come close to catching up with what I was able to accomplish? Do you know how I found a photo of a ceiling of a Captain D's?
No.
Wow. You still couldn't do it. I asked you to do it now. You couldn't do it.
I can't tell if this is a bit that he doesn't know that I brought this up or not.
Did you have a photo?
Yeah.
I didn't see a photo.
And a ceiling fan on it.
You brought up the same photo as me?
But Patrick, you fundamentally have not learned anything about these nuts. Is that true?
I haven't. I'm sorry, guys.
I'm waiting for you to tell me about these nuts, and so far nothing has hit me.
I looked at unless it's in the ingredients list, there's nothing on the menu for nuts, peanuts, any kind of nuts.
No nuts.
I did a joke.
No nuts.
Are there any jokes in the menu?
Any jokes?
No, the ones when I looked at it, it said like fish and fries, chicken and fries. Very straightforward.
Yeah.
Nothing exciting.
Wait, guys.
Wait, what?
Oh shoot! Look at this.
Oh, I can't see.
Look at that.
Oh, I mean,
wow.
Pecan pie. There's your.
D's nuts pie.
Yeah.
Pie nuts.
Now
we put these nuts on the pie.
We got to get.
I found a little joke here.
Thank
See,
you.
it says shrimp lovers.
The
The O is that. If I'm not mistaken, that is a scrotal sac that has been disconnected and tied off at the point of incision.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't it look more like one of the Figrin Dan and the modal nodes
Like a
heads?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it does look like that legendary musician.
Yeah.
Either way, very funny.
Scott, where would you say that Figrin Dan ranks amongst your favorite jizz whalers?
Well, yeah, the practitioners of jizz. I mean, he's one of the earliest, but I don't know that his stuff really holds up. Really, I prefer the style of jizz that they were playing in The Force Awakens. Where it's very similar to Jamaican reggae. If Lin-Manuel Miranda were to rap over it.
Do you know this, Niccole, that canonically the most popular genre of music in Star Wars is called jizz, and the people who play it are called jizz whalers, and that is something that Disney bought for $6 billion.
And this is real. This is the
it's
thing.
real. It's real. They cannot erase it. They cannot correct it. George laid down the law.
It's just jizz for history.
At the time, was anyone saying jizz though? I mean, George, do you remember?
No, people were not saying it as much as they said it later.
There you go.
8:57 p.m. Less than 10 minutes.
Amazing.
Wait, I want to look this up. Jizz musicians. So is it like jazz, but it's just like, is it sexier or like here?
No, it's just a different look. It's far enough away that they have a different word, but it's close.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. We also got multiple. Niccole, you're going to have to look on your Twitter to see these, but multiple Niccole as a wrestler.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Oh, look, there's a Santa one.
So good.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's amazing. I see the Santa ones.
And then there's the George undercover boss right here.
with his four flags.
This is so good.
Scott, how do you like the Clone Wars so far? Because that was George's baby.
Yeah, that was my baby.
Oh, that was your baby, really?
My baby.
I would hate to call someone's baby ugly and boring. But why not? Really, babies are ugly and boring.
That's how you felt. I mean, it's 4 kids. You're a grown man, so I wouldn't expect you to enjoy it.
On you for watching it. It's for babies. Goo goo gaga.
I mean, grown.
If you were to complain to me that the rattle that you were shaking was not exciting for you, I would say, well, Scott, you have fundamentally misunderstood the target audience for this device.
Yeah, I mean, what do you hate the taste of breast milk too? That's on you, baby. Eat some real food.
But that said, I'm about halfway through the first season, and the movie was not incredible, but the first season's been fun so far. I don't know. I haven't gotten into the good. Some people say you could start at season 3 if you want to, but I'm just going to watch the whole thing. So I don't know.
It gets better. It gets better.
But so far, you're not impressed.
That's
you're
what
not dazzled. You're not.
That's
dazzled
what It's Better is about, right? It's about Clone Wars.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's mostly about Clone Wars, mostly.
I think in some ways, my greatest accomplishment is I would like to be remembered as a man who did a lot for education, but also made a series of children's movies that made millions of grown men furious.
Oh yeah, I think that's a huge accomplishment. That's all I feel like I know. That's the most that I know about Star Wars. Is that a lot of people seem to get mad about it every time it comes out.
Did it? I once saw you in a backstage area, George, and I was.
What's that backstage for?
Ooh, listen to this Hollywood Hot Goss.
It was. You know what? I feel like it was some event I was doing. I don't. I think it was up north. I think what it was. Was
it Punch Up on Shark Tale?
Yeah, they hired the actual writers of the movie to do Punch Up as well. I was like, you don't have to pay me twice. I don't know why.
Right? Hey, look, that's George style, double dipping, baby.
Yeah. No, I think what it was after the Between Two Ferns with Obama came out, I was invited to go do a panel that Judd Apatow moderated, and it was like super bougie. Annie Leibovitz took our photo after it. Wow. And I was like in a limo being driven from the airport to the hotel, and the person, the limo driver was like, "So what do you do for a living?" And I was like, "I'm in entertainment, you know." "Oh, what do you do?" "I do comedy." what have you done? And I was like, I did a thing, I do the show called Between Two Ferns sometimes. Oh, there it is. There's the photo.
There it is. Look at that.
And then the limo driver is like, oh, really? Who's been on it? I said, President Obama. And he goes, well, keep at it. Maybe something will happen someday.
What?
And I'm like, I'm in a limo being driven by you. But in any case, so I think it was backstage at that. And I saw you, George, and I was just first I was excited, like, oh, there's George Lucas. And then I realized I was mad at you for the prequels. And I was like, should I tell you, how bad the prequels were? Do you get that a lot to people?
I think you get yelled at all the time. You get yelled at all the time.
Let's have your moment. You didn't get it in, you get it the first time. Let's act it out. Tell me everything that you wanted to tell me that you regretted.
George, why didn't you let someone else write and direct the prequels? Your dialogue was terrible. You have Jar Jar saying "ouch" time.
That's because he's worried he's going to get hurt or going to get in trouble. Did you not understand it?
I understand. No, that's the problem. Is the original movies were written for children. Yes, he does say "squeeze me."
Did you like that? You're laughing. That's the point of. Look, right now you're laughing, and that's why I created.
Well,
I'm
more laughing at how much you seem to like it, but
I'm sorry you didn't understand the prequels. Watch them again. Maybe you'll get
No, I totally understood them, and I in fact watched Phantom Menace again the other night in preparation for this.
How many times have you seen it? How many times have you seen it now?
I saw it 3 times opening weekend, and then
you really showed me, didn't you?
I know.
That'll teach me to make the movie that way. You went to see it 3 times, and now you want to express your displeasure with me?
Yeah, well, okay. So here's the thing: is I think you were. I saw it 3 times because of the residual goodwill over the previous Star Wars films,
right?
And then
that explains the first ticket you bought. So fool me once.
No,
I'll have 1 ticket for the Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, please. Fool me twice. I'd like another ticket for Star Wars Episode 1.
To be fair, George, the second ticket was bought at the same time as the first ticket because I didn't know that I could get tickets to the first one. So I think my friend had bought me a ticket. So I ended up seeing it the night it came out at midnight, and then the next morning at 11 a.m.
All right. Well, in fairness, that's not the way to see a movie. There's no movie that I can think of that would be well served by seeing it at midnight and then immediately the next morning. I think that is an unfair litmus test for what's your favorite film, Scott?
I like films like The Godfather, Citizen Kane.
All right, imagine going to a midnight screening of Citizen Kane and then going to see it the next morning. Do you think that would be the ideal way?
Yes, because I think the next morning, now that you've absorbed it as, a whole piece, you would then be able to peel back the layers and see, the emotional resonance underneath with a little more clarity. Whereas with Phantom Menace, it was every successive viewing was a little more like, oh, this sucks more than I realized it at the time. I realized it sucked at the time, but it sucks even more, more and more and more.
And you've seen it a bunch of times since then.
I probably have seen Phantom Menace 6 times at this point.
Wow, you must really hate it.
For a movie I hate, I keep going back to it going, do I really hate it?
I don't think you do. I don't think anyone sees a movie. I know that because it's not like if you were one of the MST 3K guys, I'd say, okay, he's doing it for work.
Sure. Did you ever want to be one of those guys, by the way?
Are you doing? Yeah, I know some of those guys. You don't do riff tracks when you watch.
Did you ever want to be one of those guys?
Talk during a movie? No, it's rude. I never wanted to be impolite. I understand it's their craft, but like you don't do a riff track when you watch Phantom Menace. You never do a riff track.
What if you were to? There was a movie being played in a theater. You were piped in the audio. You were outside the theater. You were piped into the audio, and you recorded your own track outside of the theater, so you weren't being rude to anyone.
Okay. Can I see the movie?
You're watching it
talking to myself in the alley.
Closed circuit television. You're watching it. So
yeah, I could do. I'll do a riff track like that if you'll do it with me. I would happily do a riff track. Here's a riff track. I'd be watching. Imagine the scene where Charles Foster Kane is watching his lady love performing in that big, and he sees how bad she is, and he says,
never made it that far, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, he's watching and he's realizing she's terrible, and he's got to write this review, and he sits down to the typewriter to write what will end up being a devastatingly critical review of the woman that he loves. And right as he's about to type, he starts to type the review, and then he looks at what he's typing and he goes, "Ouch time." Because he knows it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
Scott, I hope that was cathartic for you to get that out of the way. You've been holding on to that since.
I don't know that it was. I feel like George really
should have. Can we get some fan art of
Citizen
Kane? Can we get some fan art of that scene from Citizen Kane where Charles
Foster Kane just saying "ouch time"? Yeah, could we get that?
Yeah, as many different iconic moments where Charles Foster Kane is experiencing despair, and we'd like to see the word balloon saying "ouch time."
I'm just saying, now that the negativity is out of the system, let's maybe try to steer the conversation. Oh, Scott's gone.
He's out.
He got what he needed, and he split. Boy, that's a guy who knows when he's.
Wait, Nicole's doing some quibbies.
I'm doing a quibby. I can't.
Well, because anyone can do it now. It's an open platform.
It's open source.
God.
We did get another thing. I want to show this. It's from Eric Germ. He made a GIF of George and Santa looking in the mirror together.
Whoa.
That's pretty good.
Like,
yeah. What is that from? What's the original one? Is that from I Love Lucy or? Oh, that's
like
Duck Soup.
Yeah.
You could tell that just from the robe.
Yeah.
Classic.
What can I say? I'm a student of cinema.
Did you base the robes in Star Wars on Duck Soup or?
Yeah.
Wow.
Right.
Niccole,
also, if you look, anytime you see someone eating soup in a Star Wars film, it's usually duck soup more often than not.
Duck soup.
Yeah, on the Mandalorian this week there was some soup. Yeah.
Of a duck variety.
George doesn't like to talk about the Mandalorian. It's a touchy subject. I feel
touchy subject about the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
Did you have anything to do with the Mandalorian, George? Or is that other people doing your stuff?
No, I'm very supportive. I like what John is doing with and my buddy Dave is working on it. But I love little Baby Yoda so much.
Oh, it's so cute. We love
Why didn't you? Baby Yoda's so good. Why didn't you make the original Yoda a baby? You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I did. I just didn't show that part. He was a baby at one point.
Yeah, we should have. We needed to see it. I like Baby Yoda better than
for a guy who's mad at me making the prequels. You sure did want me to make a bunch more Star Wars movies than I made.
Well, see, I look. You know, then again, the three that you made that are terrible are, you know, they've made other things that are just as terrible. So, you know, it's hard to make a good movie. So I tend to think that I've forgiven you.
Wait, now you say the three that he made that were terrible. George didn't make The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, I see.
So then I'm trying to guess what the third one you dislike is, and I assume it's Revenge of the Sith because of the lack of Watto.
That didn't help, I have to say. Watto, were you in like the second episode of Clone Wars? Was that you, or was that another one of your race?
I thought you were asking if I was in episode 2 of the main franchise, which yes, I am with a little hat on. No. In episode 2 of the Clone Wars, that is other aliens of my species, Toydarians. Right. Pointedly, my quote was too high.
He didn't seem like he had quite the stereotypical accent that you have.
I mean, once again, this is where George and I fight. You know?
Yeah.
Where is this accent from? Is it mythical something?
Is it a planet called Insult Comic Dog?
Hey!
No, it's not. It's from Smiggleville. You know, I mean, George, I am proud to be a Jewish man. And George always pushes back and sort of denies it and says, no, you're not Jewish. Judaism doesn't exist in Star Wars. Any similarities to any cultures, living or dead, is purely coincidental. You know, but I'm over here, you know, praising Adonai. I don't understand where George thinks that's coming from. It's in my DNA. It's in my code, literally. It's in my code. I'm not throwing out some Kanye shit. I'm fucking CGI. He coded me.
It is weird that there seems to be the Force is the only religion in Star Wars land where you know there'd be competing religions and you know. It also is very weird that the military works where no matter how young you are, if you become a weird religious person, then you are immediately a general and in charge of the army.
Yeah. Niccole, I'm curious. You said you only had seen one Toy Story. How many Star Warses have you seen?
Oh God, don't get me in trouble. I don't.
You're not in trouble. It's a safe space.
It's fine. He's gone. You can say it.
Okay, he's gone. Okay, now that he's gone, I can say that. I don't know if I've seen any of them. I feel like I may have seen one, but I would not be able to tell you which one it was. And
that's okay. Not everybody has to feel anything.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He's back. Oh God, it's like he heard me.
No.
Oh God, he can hear me.
No.
You heard me. Awkward. No, I love your movies. They're great. They're also good.
You know what, Niccole? It's okay. Do you like Indiana Jones movies?
I do. I've seen that movie, one of them.
All right, that's fair.
But George, aren't you the guy who really pushed for that last Indiana Jones movie to be about aliens?
Yeah. Oh, I pushed so hard that's what they ended up doing. Yeah.
But, I mean, you stand by that choice?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, who knows whether they're going to get to make this fifth one, but I literally just I got so tired of pushing for my ideas that I basically said I'm going to take my ball and go home.
I should clarify. That's not what you basically said. That is literally what you and George Lucas said, which has been corroborated off the record to us by several people.
Yeah, I said I'm going to take my ball and go home. You guys, good luck. Make whatever you think an Indiana Jones movie is.
When you said ball, were you talking about BB-8 or?
That's not my ball.
Here's the big ball.
Yeah, what do you think about BB-8? I mean, BB-8 seems like R2-D2, but better. You know?
He's cute. I think BB-8's pretty cute. He rolls around. I like him. I like that his name sounds like baby because I always say Star Wars movies are for babies. You should add more babies into them. I always like to add a baby. I like to throw in some babies into it. I say, like, when I was deciding, let's make more Star Wars movies, I said, let's make the first one about when he's a little baby. And then let's end the trilogy with he's all grown up and he makes 2 more babies. And and now they're making it and they're putting babies in it. And BB-8 is basically just Baby 8 because, well, that's what babies do. There should be BB-8 and BB poop. Those are the 2 things that babies do. BB-8 and BB pooped.
8 and poop. I get it. Okay.
Yeah, because 8
BB-8, BB poop.
Past tense, and then poop just the past tense of poop. And that's what babies do. They eat and they poop.
Wow.
They didn't do that.
Niccole, what is your Star Wars? What is the thing that you love like a lot of angry boys love online?
Yeah,
I love that a lot of angry boys don't like.
Yeah, what's the weird way to frame it?
I'm saying, what do you love the way that people love Star Wars?
You know what movie I've seen multiple of it? I mean, I wouldn't say it's definitely not my Star Wars, but I've seen all of those dumb Twilight movies. Like, why have I not seen? I've only seen one Star Wars, but I've seen all the Twilight movies and all the Hunger Games movies. Like those basic, like YA cheesy movies. I've seen them all.
Wow.
They're not my favorite though.
Those are your heroes. You like the heroes of these.
Yeah,
sound like vampires though.
They sound like your heroes.
Yeah, they are maybe my hero. Okay, maybe I do.
No,
I like vampires.
You like watching teenagers die. It makes sense.
I like watching teenagers die. I like watching teenagers make out and die. Don't pretend I didn't say that.
Twilight is their vampires, but they can go out in the daytime and they like glitter.
Yeah. They can go, they glitter. And they go play baseball and they're really good at sports and they like float when they walk. I mean, for some reason I remember all of those things. I think because I read those books too. Ouch time.
Ouch time. There it is. Wow.
Wow. We special edition Citizen Kane here tonight. Thanks to you, Scott.
Oh, that was Citizen Kane. Yeah. I'm looking at all these comments.
I assume I haven't seen David Fincher's Mank, his film about Mankiewicz, the guy who wrote Citizen Kane. But I'll bet you anything. I'll bet you $1 million, Scott, that there's a scene in Mank. Maybe it's not. Maybe it didn't make the final cut. Maybe it's in. Maybe but it was definitely written and shot. A scene where Mankiewicz is writing Citizen Kane, and he writes the words "ouch time" into the script, and then
you think there's like a close up on the actual script and it says ouch time, maybe he crosses it out, maybe it stays in, you know.
Yeah. And Orson's like, no, and you're just seeing him be like, it's the best line in the movie. And Orson Welles is cutting it out. What an egomaniac.
I assume that's
probably
the
Orson
main
Welles probably
thematic
says,
concept.
I don't know, that I think that line's too good.
It's interesting because Fincher decided to do a prequel of Citizen Kane in a way. He went way back before the characters were even born to the writer thinking them up. Have you ever thought about doing a movie about yourself thinking up all the Star Wars movies?
That'd be a pretty good movie.
You should do that. Wait, what was the Fincher movie that was that?
Mank.
Mank.
Oh, Mank.
It was like, because I got in a really bad car wreck when I was a teenager.
I've heard about this.
This isn't what actually happened. Because my whole thing growing up was fast cars. I wanted to be a fast car driver. And I got in this big car crash, woke up in the hospital. But if I was going to do the biopic story, maybe I'd have myself in one moment think of the whole Star Wars saga. And that's why I wrecked my car, because it's too much.
He's like, but there must be the scene where you're at Captain D's looking at the ceiling though. So that must be in there too.
Yeah.
Did you have a cool car when you crashed it, like the characters in American Graffiti, or was it like a Toyota Corolla?
That was a pretty cool car. Hold on.
You're trying to remember what kind of car?
I'm trying to remember. I'm in my 70s.
And you do that by looking down and moving your arms a little bit?
Yeah, it's a memory trick where I'll kind of go like,
there you go. There's your cool car.
Whoa.
What is that?
Damn.
Oh, there she is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't quite tell.
Yeah,
You've survived crash. Whoa. Okay, this was no joke.
It was
a dramatic prequel. Yeah.
It was a Fiat 500. If I remember correctly, it was a Fiat 500.
Wow.
The little teeny one? What happened?
I had a fast car. Drove it around and I crashed it real bad. I drove it way too fast. Then I made lots of Star Wars movies. Can't make them anymore. Disney owned them and they took them all away. I had a fast car. Yeah.
Wow.
Blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
That's all right. This is just a spoof for fun.
It's intense.
It's pretty rude of them to credit you in this story as youth survived crash and not famed filmmaker George Lucas.
Yeah, that's pretty embarrassing.
They should have known.
Not know this was going to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
We're living in a prequel now.
That just proves that newspapers are not written by time travelers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we have to prove that tonight.
Yeah.
If there was any doubt, for those of you, I know a lot of people have conspiracy theories about the media. If there was any doubt that newspapers are being written by time travelers, we have put an end to that.
I will say, I keep thinking about Niccole's love of the Twilight movies and trying to build a bridge over to Star Wars fandom. And I mean, if you look at it through a certain prism, you know, Attack of the Clones is kind of the original Twilight.
Really?
How's that?
Yeah. Well, I said George, you know, he made these Star Wars movies and then he went, no, let me get to the real stuff. Moody teenagers making out, trying to keep secrets, hiding out from a society that judges them.
Having a picnic.
Yeah.
Having a picnic.
Yeah, and then spoilers, Niccole, but in episode 3, lots of young people die.
Really? Okay, we love this. This sounds interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The YA version. This is Attack of the Clones. I gotta see this one then.
I think it is one of the only movie trilogies to ever end with like a lot of teenagers being executed.
Yes, it's very Hunger Games.
Yeah, right, that's true. That's a good point.
Hunger Games, it's like the series ends with liberation. The teenagers win, the genocide is over, and Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, he ends the trilogy with like, no, let's just kill all these fucking kids.
Yeah.
That's the victory.
I mean, the Hunger Games trilogy ends with Philip Seymour Hoffman dying, but
that's sort of extended universe in a way. It's kind of
true.
Yeah.
Niccole, if they let you, Niccole, and I guess this question goes for Scott too, make a Star Wars movie, what would you do?
You know what? I don't know what
I
don't know what the character was like, but Natalie Portman when she was Queen Amidala. I would want to do something like that. The outfits It seemed like she was very powerful. I would like to be the boss of lots of underlings. I think that I would want to do something like that.
Okay.
Was she a good character? Or was she evil?
She was good.
She was good. Okay. Yeah, I want to be that.
Yeah.
I want to be that. I want like a cool hair thing. I want like a lot of power. So I'd want to be some kind of queen. Mm-hmm.
She was totally a good character, but she's the one who was doing a lot of sneaky making out.
She was doing that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's kind of the Bella Swan of the franchise.
Oh, okay. I like this. Now I'm interested. I gotta see these movies.
I'm trying to frame it.
I like how you're connecting them because now I'm relating. I get it. I understand what you're saying. Okay, cool. Yeah, I gotta see this. I gotta see this.
Anakin's kind of an Edward Cullen, and then the other Jedi are like his extended Cullen family.
Who played Anakin? He was kind of like a little. He looks like a young hottie or something, right? Like some
Jake Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd.
No,
Jake
too
Lloyd?
young, too hot, too young.
I was
too
like, that
hot.
doesn't even. I don't even know that person. Yeah, no, we don't like
Hayden
that.
Christensen.
That's who it was. Hayden Christensen.
Teen soap star Hayden Christensen. You'd love. He's got that moody vampire thing. He wears a lot of black.
Moody vampire. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He had the. He
Brooding.
touched his hair, but he's a moody vampire. That guy is not in any movies right now. I feel like he's not doing a lot. He's just Star Wars right now.
Hey Niccole, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the last quote unquote big movie that he was in. Hang on 1 second.
Okay, let's see.
Watto, you can keep talking, Watto.
You said, oh, is he just in Star Wars now? Pointedly not allowed in Star Wars. He's like George, forced onto the sidelines. This was his last big movie. Big movie, Little Italy.
Little Italy? Oh no, that looks bad. Why do his eyes look like that?
Yeah.
This is how I have to look at this right now because this is on my TV phone. What in the world? So wait, George, you don't like him? That's why he's not in your movies anymore, or he got pushed to the side?
No, I like him. I don't make Star Wars anymore. Disney makes Star Wars now. I work on my museum.
George and Hayden are sitting on the bench together. This is the thing. We're reporting a crime, okay? The crime is that Disney stole Star Wars from George. They paid him $6 billion, and now he's not allowed to make the movies anymore.
Not only do they not let me make the movies, I don't know if Scott, you're a Star Wars fan, you like to watch every episode you can of Clone Wars now.
I guess that's the way to say that.
Yeah, well, you said I'm going to watch all the rest of it. So you're a grown man. You can't wait to watch all the rest of the Star Wars TV shows.
I can wait, and I am waiting. I'm on this show instead of doing it. So
right. But the second this is over, we know what you're going to be. We know which button you'll be clicking.
Okay.
I made a show a little over a decade ago.
George. Watto, you finished the story. I don't know what's going on with George's Wi-Fi.
What show did he make a decade ago?
I'll tell you. I can't believe I'm somehow the only one who has stayed on the stream the entire time. I'm usually the first to bail. Okay. This was the tail end of the reign of George, right? And Niccole, you need to understand, George was the most successful independent filmmaker of all time. He was paying for these movies out of pocket, right? Now, usually he had a distribution deal or a network deal in place beforehand. But he said, no, I'm going to go totally rogue this time. I'm doing something so radical. I don't want any outside interference. I'm going to make a show. And this sounds right up your alley, Niccole. It's like Star Wars, but it's very funny. Because you do comedy. Scott does comedy. You're both comedy.
We like comedy,
Yeah. Wait, I think I heard about this one. Yeah.
Said, let me do a Star Wars show, but it's just so funny. It's called Star Wars Detours. And it's these little funny detours from the things that happen in the real movies.
Right.
And he got a lot of the original actors, Billy D. Williams, to come back to the voice. And he said, I'm so confident there's an audience for this thing that George just hired writers, staffed the room, commissioned tens of scripts, and fully produced 39 episodes. He did 3 seasons out of pocket just to say, I'll sell them to the highest bidder.
Who ended up actually purchasing them, if anyone?
I guess I feel like it's going to be nobody.
I sold
Scott.
everything. I sold everything to Disney. When Disney bought the Star Wars movies, I said, hey, I got great news for you. You guys, I know you guys at Disney, you love to do one thing with cartoons, and that is release them. You've been doing it since the 1920s.
Well, don't
That's
they
the
also
thing.
love to put them into a vault? I mean, Song of the South.
Yes, but
usually
they released Song of the South so many times, Scott. So
Right.
many times. They made a big Splash
Yes.
Mountain thing of it. Oh, what did I just knock over?
look.
Isn't that the weirdest thing that they made one of their best rides on a cartoon that no one will ever see again?
In the 80s.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
In the 80s, when they still weren't releasing it then.
Yeah.
Right. Well, they released it on home video in England in the late 90s.
Well, so
Yeah.
did
The point here is
yeah.
we wish it was in the vault because
Oh.
to be in the Disney vault is an honor. And the vault, it has, grace period. They let you out, you get some air, you go back in the vault for a bit.
Sure.
We were
Yeah.
not given the dignity of being in the vault. They took these 39 episodes. Niccole, Scott, I swear to you, they put them on a goddamn shelf.
Whoa.
Put them on a shelf.
You're pointing at a shelf, so you must be telling the truth.
That's
Yeah,
how
you're
you
really
know that's
acting it out for
storytelling.
us. The
They put them
storytelling
on the
is really
goddamn
good.
shelf and they've never been released. It's been a decade. We're in the middle of a fucking pandemic. Disney has a streaming service.
Wait, they're
and there
not
are-
on Disney
No.
Plus? I swear I thought I
No.
saw them on Disney Plus. Really?
No, there are
No, they even
39
just this week-
episodes.
Just this week, they released a silly Star Wars Lego holiday special.
Yeah, I saw it. It was
Star
great.
Wars, and it's silly. Yeah, and but it's silly fun, right? It's Star Wars
That's dope.
and comedy. So we know they like it. We know they like that combo.
Mhm.
Huh?
Is it
Has
computer
anyone seen
animated?
these?
Is that what it is? Seems like it's really had a budget, high budget.
Yeah.
Has anybody
Yeah,
seen
now
Scott,
it?
the
Scott,
pocket.
Has anyone seen these? Because I have a friend who sent me once a movie that was not released. He sent me an entire movie that he had bootlegged. I think it was "I'll Do Anything." He sent me like the musical version
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
which was really considerate, and I love the fact that he sent it to me, and I never clicked on the link.
Wow.
I'm realizing now, but I really appreciated it at the time.
Scott,
But
you appreciate that kind of friendship. You appreciate the kind of friend who'll send you a link to a thing that no one else can see.
I certainly do. Yeah, whether I
Scott,
click on the link or not is.
Scott, Watto and I can be that kind of friend to you tonight.
We can be that kind of friend.
Wait,
I
what you have?
I don't know who this other fucking Jamoke is who sent you the I'll Do Anything cut, but I can promise to send you roughly 10 times as many things as that guy.
Oh no!
Look, it's a virtual talk show, okay? So we can't give you our guests like a mug or a shirt, but
Right.
we do offer our guests as a thank you gift a link to a Google Drive that has 10 episodes of Star Wars Detours in a semi-finished state.
Oh my gosh! So other ones and zeros.
Ooh.
Amazing.
And
Mhm.
Niccole, you're in for this too. Whether you like Star Wars or not, we will send you a link that you can also choose to never click, like the musical version of "I'll Do Anything."
Oh yeah, no, I'll watch it. I'll watch
Wow.
it.
But
you're gonna get it.
Me.
If you
It's
love to
it's
laugh,
fucking
if you
wild.
love to laugh.
Exclusive access. I love to laugh.
I would
Why
I
not?
would
Laughter over here.
put a big allegedly on this. You know?
Oh yeah, allegedly we're gonna do
Allegedly.
this.
Watto,
Allegedly.
how much of your day, Watto, is spent watching terrible things, and how much is spent watching good things? Like, is it even, or is it
Yeah.
mainly terrible things? Or
Watto decided a couple of months ago as like a lockdown pandemic project. Maybe now is the time to watch every episode of The Simpsons. So I'd say a couple of months ago, most of Watto's time was spent watching great things.
right, and then around probably 160 episodes in,
Well,
you're now watching terrible things, or
Well, horrible things.
wait, you may have reached the "I'll do anything" phase of this particular Brooks project.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
Brooks, I don't know. I think Brooks is maybe the spiritual heart of The Simpsons. When he left, it wasn't the same.
Mm.
What do you think? He came back for the movie, and the movie was actually kind of good. What do you think?
Movie had heart.
Movie had heart. Movie had heart. That's it. That's a real thing. There is a point of no return in The Simpsons where they stop being able to build episodes around genuine emotion.
Yeah.
And watching the early seasons, you forget how much of it is kind of rooted in the humanity of these characters.
They used to not even end episodes with jokes. It used to be just like, you know, a heartwarming moment sometimes. And you'd be fine with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
But maybe the characters said every lesson that ever existed, you know, that's ever been imparted from one human to another, you know.
It's very possibly. You're making the argument that the narrative TV show should not exist for 32 seasons. An interesting idea. But I will say this is a thing I've observed in watching all of it. I'm not done, but in my sort of trek through it, early Simpsons episodes end, right? Usually, often with some nice sort of like.
I thought there was one that just kind of kept going, yeah, but they usually do end, yeah.
No, I'll say they do end, and then the plots start to become a little more outlandish, right? But the show, notably, always by the end of the episode, somehow resets back to status quo. Whatever their wild sort of knot they have to tie everything in, somehow it's reset to status quo at the end of the episode. Then they start to become sort of meta about it, where they make jokes about the fact that everything's resetting so quickly, or the Armin Tamzarian thing where they go like, we're just never going to talk about this ever again and pretend that everything's the same. By the time you get to like season 22, episodes just end with crazy shit happening. They don't even, this is a real episode. Somehow, through some technical error, Ralph Wiggum gets appointed both the Democratic and Republican nominee for President of the United States. And you're like, how are they going to untangle this plot? And the end of the episode is them going, I don't know. I guess he's on the ballot. And then Ralph Wiggum gives a thumbs up and the episode's over.
Wow.
I'm just like, that's fine.
I have no notes. It sounds pretty good.
That would be fun. You can just write whatever you want and do whatever you want and then just reset next time.
Yeah,
I am glad. I was always worried that I would, you know, as a creative person, I'm sure Scott, you have this anxiety. I was worried that I would lose my the magic touch. And that's a relief looking back, and I never did. Like that was a genuine concern, but I always just had it.
Yeah. When we were making the Comedy Bang Bang TV show. You know, I think some episodes are better than others, but I pretty much liked every episode until the final season. We just had a real stinker, and there was a lot of reasons why. You know, the two of the actors backed out literally the night before, I think, which
literally backed out.
Yes, literally backed out.
Wow.
I guess I meant backed out literally the night before.
Yeah. Gotcha. Either way, a shock and a disappointment.
Either way, terrible. If they were to just walk backwards out of the show, I mean, at least you have them on film.
At least you see it happen. You can process
exactly.
it. Yeah.
But and they were playing characters that couldn't be recast because they had been on the show several times before. Mm-hmm. So which prompted us to have to rewrite the entire episode the night before, and it came out really bad. So I think, you know, that was always a fear for us on that show, is that, you know, we would do a final season and it would be really, you know, horrible or something like that.
Scott, let me ask you this, because we can fix this. So are you did these actors who literally backed out of the show, were you able to get enough footage of them from enough angles? Because they'd been on the show before.
They've been on the show.
You have enough?
Well, we shot Comedy Bang Bang in sort of Matrix style, where, you know, cameras all around us in a circle.
Okay, this is great. This is great news. So you have enough to render them. Yeah,
I think we could render. I'm not quite sure how long the rendering would take, but yeah.
But you could do a CGI. Now, you'll have a legal problem, which could mean these actors are still with us. They're still on this.
They're still with us. I know that usually people have to die in order to have a hologram, like Robert Kardashian,
or you can negotiate a deal. I don't know, that can be, but eventually you will be able to do this.
Yeah,
you can go back. As long as you retain the rights, do not sell the rights to Disney.
Okay,
you should be able to go back. because Disney may try. I don't know if they already have.
Oh,
Whoa, Disney cut him off.
The
Wow.
mouse pulled
Watching
him from the
conversation.
stream.
They're watching. and
Oh,
they
the
just-
mouse
they just
house.
Cut him off.
This is like the third time where he started to talk about Disney and then he's gone.
Amazing.
Oh, this is
Niccole, I have a
drama.
question. I have a question
Yeah.
while George is gone. On your IMDb, it says you were in an episode of something called Greetings from Prison where you played someone named Denise.
Oh yeah.
And then
Mhm.
your next credit is 2 episodes of Cheryl Still Single playing someone named Denise.
Named Denise. And you know
Is
what's
it the
funny about
same-
that? Like when I feel like when I improvise, I use the name Denise a lot too. That was a different people, but they were 2 web series with different
Okay.
people. So that is weird. I must just look like a Denise. I got the look.
I don't know.
Yeah, I always use that name too. It's weird.
There's the
George,
answer.
you're back.
like-
Did
I feel like it's like was that?
I was saying George is back now. I'm wondering if the
Oh, yeah,
mouse
he's
house
back.
slapped him on the wrists.
Yeah,
I
did
think-
did
think
they get you?
Patrick is serving 2 masters.
Patrick works for the mouse.
Do you keep pulling me off the stream when I get a little too hot, Patrick?
No, that's not me. That must be on your end. I have nothing to do with
I have a
that.
state-of-the-art router here. This is the best router money
No,
can
you're
buy.
Maybe
I have
it's
a
Wreck-It
billion- I have a
Ralph.
$1 billion router. You're going to
Oof.
tell me that I don't. That this
He's
is my
wait,
signal.
stop bringing up a good
Wait.
point, George.
It's
Maybe
Wreck-It
it's Wreck-It
Ralph. Yeah.
Maybe it's right.
Ralph.
You-
Ralph
Whoa!
might
Goes again.
Oh,
Oh my
But
God.
Scott, this is a great point. This episode has been besieged with technical issues. Niccole
It
is
really
having
has.
to do the entire episode as a Quibi, the world's longest Quibi from her phone.
My internet is not having this program. Not going to participate.
Now, I
mean, I'm having to
do Quibi too.
Maybe,
Well, now you're doing a video.
maybe the
People don't
mouse.
realize this, that now that Quibi is over, it's just it's just open source. Anyone can upload your shows to Quibi. You can do it. It's just a click of a button.
Is that real?
Yeah,
actually,
you can
know
go.
that button next to the Twitter button and the Facebook button. There's a Quibi button. You can just upload anything there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, anybody can put their shows out on Quibi. I don't know how long before they'll shut it down, but right now, if you have a Quibi, you just put it on Quibi and it's there.
You
That's
can
a
make a
fact.
Quibi.
That's verified.
Watto, you're doing a
Yeah.
Quibi too?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
just
you're
doing
doing,
a
like,
little
what are you
Quibi for
doing?
fun.
Yeah.
Doing a little Quibi.
George,
What do you mean? It's
I don't,
a normal Quibi.
George. You and
For
Scott
what?
share an IMDb credit.
What? Meaning the title of one of our jobs, or we were on the same show?
Yeah, you guys were on the same show. George, what do you
Wow.
think it was?
Well, Scott, were you on Just Shoot Me?
I was, but on the
Well,
same
there we
episode?
are.
No, not the
No,
same.
just the same.
Same.
We're just
Oh,
part of
oh,
the same.
okay.
We're just part of the same world.
We're part of the Shootiverse, yeah.
Same show.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
part of the. Yeah. Oh, that was when Must See TV was at its peak.
Oh yeah, I mean, sure, it shuttled around from Thursdays to Wednesdays to Tuesdays, but
But the imperative that you had to see it.
There was a day
remained
that you
true.
had to see it. Yeah.
and if you
One day
didn't
at
see
least.
it and they reran it, it was new to you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 What did
I'm
you
glad
play
they
on Just Shoot Me? Were you George Siegel's dumb
No, I
brother
played
or
myself.
what?
I played myself. Yeah. It wasn't. I've done roles where I get fully immersed in a character. When I was in Beverly Hills Cop 3, I played a character that was a million miles from me. It was a disappointed customer in line. Axel Foley cuts in line to get on the ride. I say, "Hey," and that's not me. I don't go to the theme parks when the other people are there.
Yeah, that was directed by what's his
John
name?
Landis.
John Landis.
Landis.
Yeah. Did he cast you doing you sort of a solid for getting him out of legal trouble for the Twilight Zone movie, or
I
because
made
you
him
paid off
promise
you paid off all the police and the judges and everything, right?
I made John promise that neither of us would be decapitated by a helicopter in the shooting of the film. I said, John, I'll do it, but you have to
I
promise.
have one
me.
condition.
I have one condition, and that is do not violate the safety rules to a level of criminal neglect that is stunning. And put me in harm's way to the point where I will be murdered by your negligence. Then yes, I will be in your comedy film.
George actually he puts that on his rider every single project he
Yeah.
does as an actor. It was on there
Yeah.
for Just Shoot Me too, and they went, "This is a little extreme."
I said, you have to promise it. You have to. I will not do this if there is a chance that you are going to be so criminally negligent in shooting this episode of Just Shoot Me that you actually just shoot me.
Right?
You got to make sure that
Because
that kind of stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah. My buddy Steve
never
was a
know.
producer on Twilight Zone, the movie.
Yeah, Steve. Yeah, I think I know which Steve you're talking about.
My buddy, my best friend.
Yeah.
Which one?
No,
Your best friend?
Spielberg is who he's talking about.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hear that Anna Serkis can't walk into any Captain D's because of the ceiling fans. She's going to be Twilight Zoned if she goes into any of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a picture of my
she's
buddy.
allergic.
Nicole, have you ever met Steven Spielberg?
No, we float around in the same crowd, but we've never met. No, yeah, we were always like at the same party. I'm like, oh, he's over there. I should go introduce myself, and I'm like, nah.
Yeah,
I'm very
there's Steve.
I have a friend who was taking a meeting at Amblin over there on the Universal backlot, and usually I took a few meetings at Amblin. I wrote a script for him at one point. I never saw Steven Spielberg, but my friend saw him once zooming along in a golf cart and pulling into Amblin, blasting No Doubt's Just a Girl. Does that sound like your buddy Steve?
Yeah, that's
1,000%. I can't tell you the number of times that he and I have danced to that song.
Oh man, it's
Dance,
jam.
wow.
It's an anthem, it just makes you
so
want to
good.
dance.
Let me bring up. We had a few more.
Oh wow.
There's Charles Foster holding up the snow globe and saying,
"Oh, that looks like a holiday cookie."
Oh my gosh, they should that is a great idea.
There's
this one is so good. Have you seen a Chewbacca? Josephine Baker.
Yeah, hang on one sec. Here's this. It's a junk shop. Be respectful from Goop Goop.
Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, that's great.
Here's Chewbacca in the Roaring '20s.
Oh
So
boy.
I love it.
So good. It kind of looks like poop, which I'm into. I think that's hilarious.
It's a good one.
Someone wrote in the comments, Josephine Shoebaker.
Here's Han and Kylo watching the jazz singer.
Wait a second. Patrick, I think you just scrolled past some important fan art.
Which? This one?
Go down.
No, not that one. Which one?
This one.
Oh.
Are you not going to explain to our guests?
Let's let George explain. George, can you tell our guests about Thanksgiving this week?
Yeah, you guys like Norman Rockwell?
He's fine.
What, like so fine? Like the way they say it, like he's so fine.
Do you mean like Ryan O'Neal with the clear plastic buttocks? So fine?
Yeah, like he's so fine, I'm going to lose my mind. Will you say that? Scott, will you say that so we can quote it on the wiki?
Sure.
Norman
he's so
Rockwell,
fine.
I'm going to blow my mind.
I have to say Norman Rockwell? Okay.
Yeah, let's get it clean.
All right, here we go. Norman Rockwell. He's so fine. I'm going to blow my mind. Is that what you wanted me to say?
100% what I wanted you to say.
Okay.
You said it perfectly.
Okay, wonderful.
Great.
Now I'm looking for the Thanksgiving photo. It's in this book somewhere because this is all the hits.
Wait, what's this butter time stuff? I'm always missing something.
Oh,
yeah.
we are unpacking it.
The famous
Thanksgiving
Norman Rockwell painting, right? Where you see the whole family, they're all indoors eating a meal together. And it's normally it's a classic. It's a heartwarming picture of family enjoying the holiday together. Of course, this year it's incredibly irresponsible and dangerous to present that image. This is exactly what we don't want people to do, unless those people are part of their pod that has been quarantining together and staying safe. That's a very dangerous thing. So instead, we turn to two of Norman Rockwell's most beloved other works that can provide an example for the proper way to celebrate Thanksgiving this year. And these are, of course, I am referring to Norman Rockwell's famous series of paintings that were done, I believe, for plates, commemorative plates, Butter Boy and
How those, Patrick?
Butter Girl.
She's just ready to slide that entire stick right onto the bread.
Hang on. Do you have a
on.
view of it, Scott? Maybe because I know you see the butter, but like maybe you want to see it here on this plate.
Oh wow!
Why do we,
An engraving of it, yeah.
Many, oh my god!
Oh wait, hang on one sec. What if we look on this
now for sure?
Yeah.
I could.
Oh wait, hang on.
Wow.
Let's look at this one because then look at that
Why
one.
are there so many of them?
Have you? Is that the proper way? Maybe I've been doing it wrong. Usually, I like cut into the butter, take it up on the knife, and transfer it to the bread. But these people are all like sliding it down tilted plates.
Take a stick of butter, cut it in half. Then take that half of the stick of butter and cut it into 2 halves. Then take those 2 quarter cubes and spread them onto a single piece of bread, one at a time.
But first, by sliding them down a plate that's at an angle, like a Splash Mountain-like
and then
angle.
Just heat the bread with the 2 chunks of butter.
2 chunks.
Or you can spread it the way Butter Boy spreads it.
What is bell?
It's a Butter Girl bell.
Oh, Watto, hang on.
So much butter
when Watto does that, it means.
Whoa!
Watto, what?
I just said butter merch. Was I right?
Oh yes. This week I'm going to showcase a piece of butter merch.
Okay.
Wow.
It's the Butter Girl bell. I haven't bought any new butter merch. I just want to show the bell again. So I was ringing the bell so I could show the bell.
Well, the bell's pretty incredible.
And this isn't unrelated. Me and my buddy Steve are 2 of the biggest collectors of Norman Rockwell paintings in the world. And so my museum, the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art, which will be opening in Los Angeles in a year or 2, has got a lot of this art. But this Thanksgiving, we want everyone to be like Butter Boy, be like Butter Girl. And we were asking people to take the Butter Boy, Butter Girl pledge. and I'll take it. This year, I'm going to be like Butter Boy on Thanksgiving.
What are you just going to be alone and scraping?
I'm going to make
butter onto toast.
Exactly, Niccole.
Yeah.
Spot on, Niccole. You got to be happy, spreading butter alone. That's the plan.
Oh, the alone part. Okay, that's what I'm getting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alone,
heavily,
but happy. Don't be sour about it.
And you can eat what you want. You can eat what you want. It doesn't have to be butter. It doesn't have to be bread. It's the alone part.
I want to be a butter person.
Yeah. Could it be like sour cream on a tortilla?
If that's what you like, let's get some fan art of Scott as Butter Boy eating some sour cream on a tortilla.
Sour cream on a tortilla. Scraping.
And Niccole, what do you want?
A big chunk of it. Wow, sour cream sounds good. I want like ranch dressing on one single celery stick, but like a whole bottle of ranch on the celery.
All right, let's get that fan art.
Let's go around.
Butter, not the virus.
I'm sorry. Did you see that comment? I want a spot like that. Spread butter, not the virus. Is a great tagline.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
Yeah. Butter Boy is the original super spreader, but in a good way because he spreads that butter.
I would like guacamole on an apple. George, Watto, do you guys have it? Yeah.
What do you want? Say that again, Patrick.
I want guacamole on an apple. Scott wants sour cream on a tortilla.
On a tortilla, yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take flour, by the way.
A bottle of ranch on one single small celery stick.
Watto, do you have
and I'd like a bean burger from Chili's.
And I want to spread margarine on a stick of butter.
Oh, I like that.
Margarine now is a little bit more pale than butter, so that's how you can tell them apart, right?
Exactly. You'll get the nice little shading difference on it.
Yeah.
It'll almost be like I'm key lighting the butter.
Do you want the butter unsalted or salted?
Salted, baby. You know it.
Yeah, you want to go all in.
I think what we should ask for this fan art is the Norman Rockwell Thanksgiving photo, but of all of us with those things. I think that's
absolutely
perfect.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
But we need to be isolated. So draw it so that we're far, far away from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least 6 feet apart.
Yeah. And you should update
so
the
really
Norman
like
Rockwell
stand out
picture
and show that we are distanced.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to do like the measuring stick between people. And then I think if you guys make the Norman Rockwell, you should make it so that you can see people's droplets in the original Norman Rockwell, so that way people remember. If you're
do it like those ultraviolet pictures that are
yeah.
That'd be great.
Spraying droplets on people.
Yeah.
Right. So we want someone to take the original Norman Rockwell Thanksgiving painting, make the droplets visible, put the big no ghost logo around it, and then do a new piece that is all of us very distant with yardsticks in pods eating the dishes that we have requested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, is that so hard?
Someone's saying that the light is harsh on me, but I fear if I turn them off, I'm too dark. Hold on. Let's see.
It's pretty. It's because it's from above.
I think put the light back. I think put the light
Yeah.
Scott, we never heard what your Star Wars movie was going to be.
Oh, well, I would do the prequels, but I would do a different set of prequels before the prequels, like 6 months before the prequels.
Pre-prequels.
Yeah. So like, and with the same characters, I just wonder what they're doing 6 months earlier. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And so the whole trilogy shifts 6 months. So 6 months before Phantom, 6 months before Clones, 6 months before Sith.
Yes, exactly. So the events don't shift. We see the events happening 6 months before each, which I guess Clone Wars does take place 6 months before Sith. So maybe I would just do 6 months after Sith.
And would you make it funny? Or would you make it dramatic if you were going to do it, Scott?
I'd probably shoot for dramatic, but anything I do is just going to end up being so funny. So, you get on set and
you can't keep this man away from the laughter.
Yeah, exactly. So, probably really funny. Then I'd probably make it really, really funny.
Yeah,
like gut bustingly funny. Like what's the funniest movie you've ever seen, George?
Probably American Graffiti. No, 1941.
It's a great one. One of the best comedies. Are you looking forward to Belushi? Does any of Belushi cover the 1941 years?
What? I hope so. It better, because this thing is hilarious, start to finish.
Yeah.
It's so funny. He's always got it within reach.
Yeah. Well, because I'm always ready to laugh.
Yeah.
You know what you should do is make a movie that's not like 1917. Was that the one where it's almost one take? It looks like it. You should make a movie like that. Did you make one like that?
Yeah.
That's what that one's like?
Yeah, there should be a movie that takes place midway between 1917 and 1941, and it's as funny as 1941, but it's as much of a oneer as 1917.
So like 1929 with Chewbacca maybe as a flapper.
That's right.
Yeah. We already have the rendering of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing if you look at what Steve did, that this is his first crack at World War II.
Yeah.
And then he has Indiana Jones fighting the Nazis with me.
Yeah.
And then he arrives at Schindler's List. No one has a more diverse portfolio of World War II films than my buddy Steve.
Well, then Saving Private Ryan, I mean, it would have been cool if we would have seen some sort of crossover of the characters, like some of those events had to have overlapped.
You see the big Ferris wheel going through France or whatever it is, 1941. Yeah. Yeah. There's still time.
There's still time.
They should have had Ned Beatty be the old man in the cemetery that morphs into the memories.
We don't want Steven Spielberg to be at the end of his life, like the end of Schindler's List. Like I could have done more, do that extended World War II-averse that he's always been wanting to do, It
would be great if there was just one movie that tied them all together.
Yeah. Is Always set during World War II as well, or?
No, it's Always the original might be, but the remake is set present day for the present it was made. Right.
What about Empire of the Sun? Is that World War I?
Yep, that's World War II.
That's World War II.
Yeah.
Let's get them all together. Christian Bale, he's available.
Oh,
star.
Yeah, Christian Bale, he's chilling.
Is Christian Bale what?
I think he's probably available. He's not doing anything right now.
Yeah,
available.
Christian Avail.
Christian Avail.
Yeah, that's a great. Steve was the guy who had the foresight to let's make a Christian Bale movie where he's a little baby.
Yeah.
He sings a little high pitched song.
Yeah.
George, did you like Benjamin Button? Was that your favorite movie because you got to see this character you loved, and then you got to go backwards and see them as a baby?
Like a little baby Yoda,
You got to go on this whole journey. The prequel within the movie.
I like
you
it.
get to
It's full
see
of
him
effect.
be a baby twice. I mean, that's most movies will only give you one time of them being a baby. You only get one at that.
Yep.
Benjamin Button is bookmarked by 2 baby states.
Yeah,
That's right.
I would have called that movie Double Baby.
Double baby.
From baby to baby.
Yeah, from baby to
Yeah,
baby.
baby with a number 2.
And the tagline would just be, "Oh, baby."
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Let's get that fan art.
Oh, we got a Scott. Yeah.
Scott, I have a question.
Paula Tompkins and Lauren Lapkus butter.
Oh yeah, they made you guys butter. Hang on one sec, I'll bring you up.
Yeah.
Scott, it's 2020 right now. I don't know if you know that or not.
Whew, boy, thank you.
I know.
I come here for all of my dates, so I'm
just
glad
wanna
you
make
finally said it.
Yeah. Well, a lot of shows and movies are doing the, like the Reunited Aparts, the Josh Gads. They're bringing all the cast back together to find out where the characters are today. I want to know, where's Policeman from Curb Your Enthusiasm today?
He's over in the Auntie Donna show, which you can check out on Netflix right now. I play the same police officer in every show. So he's been in the Sarah Silverman show program. Sorry, George.
No, I'm a fan too.
We got a lot of Auntie Donna fans in the comments.
He's been in Curb. He's been in Auntie Donna. Yeah. So, and
Does he have a
probably
name
something else.
Is he just Policeman or does he have a name?
I tend to get in the credits just as like policeman number 1 or policeman number 2. So yeah, we've never explored his name, but much like a Star Wars prequel, I would love to see him as a baby.
Ooh.
And then, have him grow up to be a petulant teen and, twilight it up, have a picnic in the middle of a field and roll around on the grass like no human has ever done, laughing maniacally,
Love it. Really fascinating.
Okay. Niccole, have you watched anything fun during quarantine that you want to tell people to watch?
Well, I just finished up season 4 of The Crown. I watched it all very quickly. It was very good. Do you guys watch The Crown? George, are you a Crown fan?
Yeah, I like it.
It's so good. I love it. I don't know why. I think it's just like, it's very, I like the whole time.
I stand a British queen. You know what I mean?
What's that?
I stand a British queen.
We stand a British queen. We love it. We love the drama of it all. The royals, they have constant drama. I'm here for it personally. It's good. Season 4 is good too because it has Princess Diana in it. So there's a lot of drama with Charles and Diana.
Did they go into the Michael Jackson writing Dirty Diana about her?
No, they don't.
Like, is that an episode?
No, but I just saw a picture of them today. Heard Michael Jackson, and he said that he took it out of his set when he played Wembley because he didn't want her to think it was about her. He was like, it's about a groupie, but I don't know if that's Diana.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. Consider it Michael Jackson.
What a nice, respectful young man he was.
I know, right? Right. Yeah. Look at that. Yeah.
I'm seeing some breaking news right now. Now we usually don't have industry watching, but I have something. This is big. Look at Deadline wrote. Newspapers are not written by time travelers from the future.
Whoa! I made Deadline finally.
Deadline.
Yay!
Now, but the question is, when was this written? December 14th, 2020.
What? Second. That's a future time traveler.
Wow. Oh no.
Oh my goodness.
Oh no. Oh no.
One thing I thought we had clarity on.
Wow.
My buddy Dino wrote it at least, so he's a time traveler.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, Scott, this show recently has been experiencing some difficulties with Wikipedia. Someone made a Wikipedia page for our show, and we've been getting flagged by the editors, the people who edit Wikipedia.
The community editors, or
I don't know, these little sheriffs that these little self-appointed marshals that try to make sure that everything's on the up and up, on the straight and narrow.
Sure.
And on the Wikipedia page, it listed a bunch of people who've been guests on this talk show. And we were flagged for a paragraph that listed, maybe a half dozen or more names of various celebrities who've been on the show. and we were flagged for being too name droppy.
They said that, really. They said, guys.
Yeah. It was a double flag, wasn't it, Patrick?
Yeah.
Citation needed, and also importance.
Importance? Like,
Yeah.
Who gives a shit if David K. Harbor?
Yeah. Now, let's see that paragraph again, Patrick, just to see what was too many names for a show that is a talk show with guests on their Wikipedia page.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 names.
15 names. So just barely over a baker's dozen.
Are they quibbling with some of the names? Like, come on, these aren't real famous.
But my argument is you gave them a Wikipedia page.
Right.
You
Each
know?
of those people
they're getting paid by the Wikipedia page?
I don't know. I'm
the
just
Wikipedia
saying
people?
Like everyone there has a hyperlink to their Wikipedia page. So each of those people is important enough in Wikipedia to have their own page.
Oh yeah, I guess
not important enough to be dropped.
Uh-oh.
The minute he said dropped.
He said dropped and he got dropped. He didn't say
Maybe he had Siri on or
so
something.
now
Does the mouse own the
Wikipedia.
pedia?
Yeah,
I
they're
know.
watching.
I didn't
Yeah.
get to get. Or the question is, does Patrick work for Wikipedia? We know he's already sucking at the mouse's teeth, but is he licking the boot of Big Wiki?
He is.
Did George start Wikipedia?
George,
I don't know if he started it, but
with his bare hands, he started it.
Wow.
I didn't start it. I just let it happen.
Wow.
George, finish your thought, though.
Oh, he's back.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it would be great. We've decided that our revenge on Wikipedia will just be to get guests to say things about the name dropping criticism by Wikipedia. So, and if you have a sincerely held opinion about this, I think it'd be great if either of you wanted to make a statement about how Wikipedia is treating us unfairly by criticizing us for being name droppers.
I mean, isn't the whole point of Wikipedia to drop names because that's the whole site? So how are they gonna? How are you gonna judge Wikipedia? How are you gonna judge? That's your whole thing. That's what they said. That you had too many names on there. They didn't believe maybe.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Tell Wikipedia that I said quit being haters. Wikipedia. That'll stop them.
We want to bring the heat to the wiki editors.
Yeah.
And that was a great. That was really great.
Dear Wikipedia, stop being haters. Love, Niccole Thurman.
Love. Okay. So a little hopeful.
Yeah, that'll
note
get
then.
him.
That's
Yeah.
great.
Give him a sweet.
I have a message to Wikipedia. Hey, Wikipedia, more like Wikipedia, duh.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Got him.
Of course there should be this many names. That's what you're all about. If proper names weren't allowed on Wikipedia, then no one would have a page. Yeah. Did you get the noise at the end?
How do you spell that? Just so we can get the official spelling.
SHSHEEAUEAH.
Okay.
Niccole, I can see you champing at the bit. You're ready to go off on Big Wiki, aren't you?
That's the thing. I just can't stand these websites and their judgment, and they're trying to control us like this. They don't have the right to do that. They're not free, but I think they're free. They're free. They're free website. We pay for them. They need us. But then they want to go against us. I'm not into that. I don't like that. We lost to George again because we're talking about Wikipedia.
Also, Wikipedia, stop asking me for $15.
I'm just trying to read one little section of the article. And
yes, I'm going to give you the $15, and yes, I'm going to do it every time you ask. But come on, I'm not made of $15 here.
How much money do you think you've given Wikipedia at this point?
Thousands of hundreds of dollars.
Oh my god!
Do you really give them $15 every time they ask $15?
Every time, yes.
I should do that.
They ask.
Yeah.
Someone's saying stop asking $15.
Start allowing 15 names. Yes. Stop asking for $15.
$15. There we go.
We have a hashtag.
Have a hashtag.
If you're paying $15, you should get 15 names every time you pay $15.
Yeah.
At this point, you got thousands of names that you banked.
15 for
This
15.
raises
The Wikipedia
an
15 for
interesting
15
question.
challenge. Yes.
Mhm,
raises an
exactly.
interesting question. Scott is a talk show host. Scott has hosted Comedy Bang Bang on TV and podcast with celebrity guests. How are those Wikipedia pages looking?
I don't know. I haven't been on. Should we check it out?
Let's take a
Yeah.
look.
How many names?
Go in.
Here we go. Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
there's got to be a lot of names on there.
Oh, boy. Look at this. This is.
Oh,
Somebody dropped
just
some
a
names.
slap in the face to you. Look at that.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. I think you dropped
Whoa.
some names.
You dropped some names on
Wow.
the floor
Drop
here.
something there.
Yeah, that's the big list right there.
Does that say
Wait,
Red
what's
Hot
it? What's
Chili
that? Red Hot
Those are
Chili
good.
Peppers parody
Did that
is
say-
a whole paragraph.
I'm putting on my glasses to read this shit.
I mean,
Red
my
Hot
favorite
Chili
thing
Peppers
is
parody.
the guest host section that hasn't been updated since 2000.
Well, I don't
12?
think there hasn't been a guest host
Yeah.
since those people back then.
It's
But
like-
it's kind of like, okay, we've done 680 episodes and people have guest hosted 5 of them. Like, why does that get such
Wow.
huge billing on?
Right.
Oh, this
You know?
is also a good under length. What do you think it says under length?
It probably says he goes as long as he wants, and it's too long.
With
It
a question mark
says-
in the
But not quite as long as this episode of the George Lucas talk show.
back. Right.
Length.
Irish, not
16
an Irishman. 600.
600.
60 to 600. Well, yeah. We did do one episode with 600 minutes exactly. So yeah.
Yeah.
Our 10th anniversary episode. So yeah.
Now,
I get it.
now I'm curious. Like, maybe our problem is that we haven't booked the same guests that Comedy Bang Bang has. Like, maybe we need to
Yeah.
create the checklist of the people cited as notable guests on Comedy Bang Bang, and we have to complete the original, what is it, 23?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. 23 and me.
Yeah.
Oh,
23.
that's how we
because of
unlock it.
you.
We have to do the challenge of matching all those
Yes.
notable names.
The Comedy
Yeah.
Bang Bang match. Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I will say
I'll-
we
I
do,
like
have, we do have 8 on that paragraph.
8 of the 23.
Yeah. Yes, that's not bad.
That's respect. That's a full third. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah. We just next week we're gonna try real hard for St. Vincent. That's the goal for next week.
St. Vincent. Good luck to you.
No.
I did the count. It's 31
Whoa.
over
31.
215. So we
Okay,
have
that's
8
that's
out of
dropping down to a
31.
quarter from a third.
Yeah.
Wow.
Never mind. Not
8 out of
Wow.
31.
Patrick, it's time to burn the ask on St. Vincent.
You got to burn the ask on St. Vincent. Every week we say, let's book St. Vincent. He goes, no, I'm saving her for a different show.
She's probably a big George Lucas fan. You might want to
I
try
think-
it. She probably.
Definitely.
I'll ask.
Yeah, just
Oh.
check in. Shoot her a text or something. Tweet at her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, shoot me a text.
Say, hey girl, Annie, what's up? Call her Annie. She likes that.
Okay. Sure.
We should burn the ask with St. Vincent. And also, if George is ever unable to make the show, we should ask Jerry Minor to guest host as
As
Cyber.
Cyberthug. Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Hey, was I supposed to say I have to leave on the private chat or just on the show itself?
You can,
That's how you do it.
either or both.
Yeah.
I really wanted to do a full Irishman, guys. I'm sorry, but I apparently have to check my own episode that's going up in under 2 hours. So,
Yeah.
so sorry, guys, but I really enjoyed it. And George, you know what? I can't stay mad at you. You're,
And I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Obviously, I love to laugh, so I'm a fan of your work as well.
would you go back
Wow.
on all of the Comedy Bang Bang television episodes and just put a bunch of creatures in the background doing distracting things?
I'd love to. I'd love
Yeah.
to. I'll special edition those to you, and I'll send you a link to them, and you can click it or not. You can, if you want, you don't have to click it. Just
click it or ticket. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and please, I don't want a ticket, so please send me all those. What are they called again? The Detours.
Star Wars Detours.
Yes.
We'll send you that.
Oh yeah.
And I also want to say, you know, I've been on your show.
Yeah,
so
you're a great guest. Yeah,
and you've also spoofed me. You've had Tompkins has spoofed me on the show, and I appreciate that. It makes me laugh.
Yeah. So we had the real one, we had a fake one. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the same for Lin-Manuel Miranda. You're in esteemed company right there. He was on as himself. Someone else played him. Yeah. So it's really. Yeah, you kind of were the original Lin-Manuel Miranda, you know.
Well, I've always said I'm not throwing away my Han shot first.
McClunky.
Clunky baby.
Clunky baby. Do you want to plug anything, Scott?
Yeah, watch Auntie Donna if you could in the next let's see, it's 28-day window is important. So we're at about 14 days right now. So in the next week or so, if you could watch Auntie Donna on Netflix, that would be awesome. I think you'll like it if you like this show. We don't have Watto, unfortunately, but maybe next season.
Season 2, baby.
Watto, you were on Comedy Bang Bang, the television show. So
I was.
Watto was, yes.
He's so busy.
in the green screen song. We referenced
you.
Yes. We referenced you quite often. So
yes, that was more of a licensing deal, though. I wasn't working as an actor. That was a straight licensing.
We licensed your image, yeah.
That's why I was confused. I don't remember being in it, but I do remember the residual checks. So that lines up. Right.
Awesome. Well, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. And I'm just gonna. What do? I mentioned Disney, and I get.
Look at that.
How it works.
The mouse.
Wow.
The mouse.
I mean, I'm not going to bring it up with them. I don't want to talk to them about it.
Yeah, because you don't want to get fired.
Yeah.
You don't want to get in trouble.
I don't want to get in
But
trouble.
Also, you should speak up though. You shouldn't take.
But I try to keep them separate. I try to keep them separate.
Yeah.
I don't want I don't want any more attention on this show than there needs to be. That's my take on it.
Yeah. You should.
Well, I don't.
I don't
think we're in it. Yeah. I don't think we're in tremendous danger of getting too much attention.
No, I don't think so either.
You guys have, I don't know what you're talking about. You have a busy chat. Like, there's a lot of people watching this.
That is a busy chat.
But Niccole,
I just want you to know, Niccole. Our viewers call him Pat the Rat.
What?
They call him Pat the Rat because they think he behaves like a little rat.
He's ratting. Oh, he's got a rat right there. Oh, the rat with cheese.
Rat.
You got the rat with looks like he's holding butter, actually.
It is butter.
A butter rat.
It is butter. What the heck? Why do you have so many things with butter? Oh, he's holding a little knife.
Someone made it for me.
So are those all those Norman Rockwell things? Did you guys just have those just lying around? All the Norman Rockwell gear?
I mean, I have.
My enthusiasm. I've been collecting Norman Rockwell originals for decades.
Wow, that's your.
I have to admit, I'm a little confused by your question, Niccole, and the implication. Like, do you keep your Norman Rockwell stuff in storage? I don't understand where else you think one would keep the Rockwell stuff in their home.
I guess for me, like those particular plates and things, they looked a little like a porcelain doll collection. You know how they're always like staring at you and they're kind of creepy. Yeah. So I don't feel like you have those.
You're saying like you think this plate looks like a porcelain doll?
Yes. Look at their face. They're like looking at you. It's got an evil.
Wait, Watto, this will be fun. Watto, we've never tried this. Can you hand me that plate?
Yeah.
Wait, what does it say? Tell me about the stained glass. Forget it, Niccole. It's Buttertown.
Here we go.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
3.
Go, Greg.
2. Wait, am I sliding it this way or am I?
You do whatever you want. You want to slide it this way.
I'm gonna slide it to you. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Whoa.
3, 2, 1.
Whoa!
I got it.
The magic of the internet.
Okay, no wait. Slide it back to me. Slide it back to me.
Yeah, sure. It's gonna. Oh yeah, I have it in my hand. Here we go. It's gonna come this way. Look at this.
Okay.
Oh! Let me have it.
Good.
Let me have it.
We got it. We
Wow.
got it.
Wow.
Look, Niccole, I have to say, I'm confused because you said that you feel like these plates are creepy and that they look like some porcelain doll shit, right?
Yeah. They have a little bit of that vibe.
I don't think that's fair.
Do you have porcelain dolls too?
I don't think it's fair to say that the plates look like a porcelain doll. I think if you wanted Buttergirl looking like a porcelain doll.
Why do we have so many? Oh my gosh. Look at
Butter
that
dog!
That dog that butter. That dog that gave me that butter. Come on, Beesh.
Dog!
Butter dog. Butterface,
George,
butter dog.
What did you just go grab, George? What did you just go grab?
I went to get a little bit of butter.
Yeah.
What's left with a little bit of butter and some bread.
Yeah.
Wow. I know. Doesn't that make you want butter?
Let's spread some butter on this bread.
Bread, butter, not the virus.
Yeah.
Now,
Yes,
Niccole.
bread, butter, not the virus. Yeah.
Niccole, you're in an interesting time zone right now, like a time frame in this show.
Uh-huh.
Because the first guest is left.
I know.
And you're like, how long do I stay? Do I stay 2 more minutes? Do I stay 10 more minutes? And it's a real conundrum. Now you're stuck. You're like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Tell us your thought process.
It's a little bit like when you're at a party and someone you're talking to at the party leaves and you're like, oh, okay, see you later. And then you're like, should I go around the party and find some new conversations or should I just leave the party? My first instinct was I was going to leave when Scott said he was going to leave, but I wanted him to have like his moment to say bye and all the people in the chat say bye. So then now I'm here and I think, I'm like, the countdown begins for me.
I mean, look, you're in esteemed company. Many great guests have lingered in this uncomfortable zone.
Do you guys ever have a guest where you're like, I mean, you don't have to name drop since we're not name dropping. We don't want Wikipedia getting this, but have you ever had a guest where that stayed too long and you were like, they can go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like for real,
I'm thinking of one. Yes. I wonder if we're thinking of the same name. But there's one in particular where we were like, really?
You're like, yo, bye.
Right.
Well, we got it.
Right. It was. Yes, but it was very much. It was because we love when people stay. But this one I'm thinking of in particular, we were really like crunching the numbers on how many minutes have they now been on versus how much have they contributed. It was really that balance.
I feel like I wasn't contributing much though. I was contributing a lot of like enjoying it, like smiling along.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
You're still contributing.
Yeah,
you're still.
Yeah, I bet there's sometimes. That's the other thing is like when the guests know the show is going to be long. They could stay if they want to, but it's like you could lie to some. Oh, my phone battery's like getting low, so that's going to make me leave. But like you could lie to them and be like, the show's like 40 minutes, and then after 40 minutes. Be like, oh, we gotta go, and then fake leave.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, wow. Wait, I just got something on Twitter. Look at this. We made our Butter Boy and Butter Girl plates for our Thanksgiving this year.
These are homemade butter plates
on paper plates. These people are demons.
On paper
what the
plate.
heck?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't have a podcast.
Niccole, you said your battery is dying, so this is the period where you're going to try to find your transition out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm charging it now, but I am still gonna pretend like my phone is dead.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to ask right now.
What?
You have made one of the most potent pieces of COVID era comedy, I feel like. To a degree you've even talked about it's gotten repurposed and taken away from you. But you had your video that you posted of the weird face that everyone makes the moment in between when they try to leave the Zoom and when they actually close down the window. And all I'm saying is, whenever you leave the show, I would love to get those.
Okay. It's so funny because, first of all, that video was made a year ago, and then it just became incredibly relevant now.
Wow.
But I made it because I was laughing because every time somebody ends a video, they would make like this like dumb face, like as they're ending the video, because like they have their video face and then they have the real face. But I was like making fun of one of my friends because she did it, and then it became like, yeah, now every time I'm on a Zoom, at the end of it, people will be like, "This is like that video you made," or "at the end." I'm like, "Yeah, it is," but it's so
and
real.
Watto
right?
just did that. Watto just did that.
I like when people do it. I like it. I think it's funny because it is, especially with Zoom, because Zoom is like you have to find the leave the meeting button, and so everybody always looks awkward. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing.
Do you
Somebody
find
else made a video like what's that?
No, I was just going to ask, do you find that like you see it getting repurposed by people who may not understand that you were doing it as a comedy bit? Like I feel like the meme dictionary of the internet, there's a weird sort of like lack of agency to the original work, where sometimes you're like, is this an accidental person doing something stupid that's now become a GIF, versus is this a comedian that has their work now completely devoid of context?
Oh yeah, all the time. There were like 2 meme pages that used the video without showing that it was a joke, or like saying that I was a comedian, and it was like, I was like, hey, because then people were making fun of me in the comments. I was like, yo, this is a joke. But yeah, people do it all the time.
But it's also like they're taking your laughs. You're like, I wanted you to laugh at me. Don't redistribute those laughs to the person who posted.
I'm like, please laugh at me, give me credit, follow me. You're like, but don't give it to them. Don't give them credit for acting like they found some real video, because it's not a real video. It's a joke. The internet is so weird. I feel like also since TikTok has become such a thing, it's even gotten worse, because TikTok is like just people repeating each other's jokes.
I was actually a part of the very first TikTok film, which my buddy Walter Murch directed, Return to Oz, and there you have him right there. There's TikTok.
That's so funny. That's a TikTok. Oh my gosh, who is that? Who is in that movie? It looks like a discount everybody.
Veruza Balls.
Yeah.
Veruza Balls. Who else?
From the crowd.
She's the best. She's
It's a great film. My buddy Walter Murch directed it, and I said, listen, let him. They were worried about him. I said, look, I'll vouch for this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And did it work? Was it good? Like, did it?
It's great.
Now
it's on Disney Blu-ray. You can see it on Disney Plus. It's genuinely great.
People are chilling for Disney and hating on Disney. You go both ways.
I mean,
love hate.
I think it's one of those things. Yeah, it's like you go through a bitter divorce, and it's like you have like a weird relationship with your ex-spouse, but also like they're responsible for the kids you share,
Yeah.
I can be feel the pain of them not releasing the 39 episodes of Star Wars Detours, but that's not going to prevent me from logging into Disney Plus, turning on Steamboat Willie, and just laughing myself silly for the next few minutes.
Having a good ass laugh. You gotta.
George just loves laughing at classic Mickey Mouse ones. There's nothing he finds funnier than early Mickey Mouse. Full on, out loud, belly laughs.
Galloping Gaucho.
George, I do think you did just mention ex-spouses, and I do feel like Niccole would like to hear a story about your ex-spouse. I know you hate bringing it up.
I do. But I didn't bring it up. I'm just answering your question.
Yeah, I think Niccole would enjoy hearing about this.
I love relationship
drama. My first marriage.
Get ready.
Niccole, get ready.
Give me the drama,
baby. Watto, I'm just going to let George tell it, okay? I'll take us off.
My first marriage was to a woman named Marcia. She and I worked together on a lot of things. She was the editor on the original Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
And she was someone who, she always was a partner and a collaborator. But by the time we were working on, I was getting ready for Return of the Jedi, we drifted apart. We had commissioned a man to build a stained glass ceiling, like a stained glass sort of window. There's a picture of it at Skywalker Ranch.
Oh my God.
I was then cuckolded by this man, the man who made this stained glass, which remains at Skywalker Ranch to this day. Now I'm a billionaire. I could have I could have personally jackhammered that thing out of the roof. I could have installed a ceiling fan and made it feel more like a Captain D's.
Hey,
I could have done anything I wanted.
Fair.
But you know what?
Keep it? What?
Because the artistry at work, the stained glass window didn't cuckold me. The man who made the stained glass window cuckolded me. I'm not going to take it out on the art. I'm going to be the bigger man. I'm going to be, I win by keeping that stained glass up. I'm like, no, you keep it up. I'll look at it. It's good glass. It's good glass.
You have respect for it. You're like, that's good glass.
That's
bad
good
ass.
glass.
He's a bad ass hole.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
But that's good glass.
That's
good
glass.
interesting because that's an argument that is happening a lot now with the people get canceled. They're like, should we cancel art? Or should we continue to love the art, hate the artist? And you decide
the art.
Let's talk about it. Now's the time. Let's break it down.
Perfect time.
I think maybe it's situational because this situation is like you rose above and you were mature.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if the stained glass depicted the image of my wife being taken by this man and me at the side, helpless and furious. I would have been like, let's get rid of that. I don't like looking at it.
That's what I was gonna say. Like, what if he did like a picture of your wife's boobs or something, and he was like,
no way, no boobs,
motorboating them or something.
I wouldn't do it. Well, I think there are some art forms where it's hard to separate because depending on the medium, if someone's painting landscapes and you find out that they have hateful ideas, but they do authentic, realistic, beautiful paintings of landscapes, that's easier to separate than if someone writes a novel and the novel turns out to have like problematic ideas, or you know what I mean, or you start to see where some art forms have more overlap, particularly in storytelling. I think that's one of the reasons why in a lot of cases where you have a stand-up comedian and then you find out they do something terrible, it can then be hard because either the comedy they do will line up with it, or it will clash in a way that makes it impossible to enjoy the falsity of the original work. You know what I mean? I think that's a hard thing. If you find out that a comedian does very funny, wholesome things, and then it turns out they do terrible, depraved things in their personal life, then you have to live with that disconnect. Whereas, like, I think if you're listening to orchestral music by Wagner, the music itself is separate from the ideas. Even if you find out that what the artist was intending to convey, it's sort of abstract. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, even it's like Disney. Walt Disney was an asshole, but like we still like Disney movies. We still like Mickey.
Right.
He seems
like that little guy.
Like Mickey.
Seems
Mickey
like
Mouse. That little guy. He gets up to so much mischief.
Yeah, he's a troublemaker.
He was an adventurer. He was a rascal.
A rebel rouser.
He's a rebel rouser, yeah.
And obviously he's mellowed. Although there's the current series of Mickey Mouse cartoons, I do feel update they sort of bring the character back to his roots as a kind of a scamp.
Wagner, I hardly know. I get distracted by the comments. I love comments.
Everyone's talking about Wagner in the comments.
And I was about Disney and didn't get kicked off. So
now, Niccole, let me show you a bumper that got made last week, because I think it could apply to you if we had one that worked for you. Here we go. You ready? This got made last week.
Niccole, what's a bumper is a dangerous question on this show. You just opened Pandora's box, baby. Here's a bumper.
Okay.
It's called Darcy Reads the Comments, but I think if you want, this is a good way for you to get out. We do a solid 30 seconds, 45 seconds of Niccole reads the comments.
Okay. I love that. I love reading comments. Take a minute, Niccole. I love it when guests read our comments. So wait, what do you want me to do? Am I doing it right now?
Yeah, this is your time.
Clock into the bumper factory. Let's go. Cardman, Patrick. Hi, Niccole. Hi. Niccole. Hi, Niccole. You've been so great. Hi. You guys are nice. Bryson, that bumper is a little quick. We love you. How are you, Niccole? I'm good. I'm having fun. Niccole, you've been a great guest. Thank you. Your wife left you. What the fuck? I'm sorry. I am trying to be fun. Thank you. I'm reading. Oh, God. What did I have for dinner? I did not have dinner. I think I'm gonna make salmon though, but I haven't made it yet because it's still early. It's only 7:30 in LA. You're doing it right now. But letter boy, yub nub. What's Nadine from Freestyle Raps? Oh, I have no idea. She's probably yelling at somebody because that's another freaking web series. Web series references tonight. The Opposition. I do want to bring back The Opposition. Am I reading these comments at a good speed for you guys? Oh, thank you. I just have glasses.
That was a good segment.
Great segment.
Let me ask Niccole. Jordan Klepper, good boss?
You guys nice. Jordan Klepper was a great boss. He's really nice. You guys know Jordan Klepper, right? George, do you know him?
I know him. Yeah, he's
6'4", 6'4", slender, very nice person. Very nice.
Yeah,
he's a. Some would say a regular Woody.
What's that?
He's a regular Sheriff Woody.
Yeah,
that's why I like him. I love.
You need to clarify which Woody you're talking about there, Pat.
I know. He should be Woody for Halloween.
This guy,
we should all tell him.
Like, imagine this guy going up to people and asking them smart questions at a Trump rally.
He's like, what is he? He's always at those Trump rallies. Yeah, he's back on the Daily Show going to all these Trump rallies. He went recently to one. He's crazy. I could never. Those people make me anxious. No offense. Well, no offense meant. Yes.
Trump supporters make you anxious.
They make me anxious. I couldn't be at the rally. Although I played a fake Trump supporter on that show, so there's like pictures of me looking like I'm at a Trump rally, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
But that was fun. You're gonna put me reading the comments somewhere. Is that what a bumper is?
Well, let's see if Bryson is here. Now, Bryson, this is Bryson. He's our tech guy behind
this person.
This is Bryson.
Bryson.
Bryson makes the bumpers. The bumper factory is not open yet, but we will have Bryson make a Niccole reads the comments bumper, and I'll put it in. I will put it in right here.
Boom.
Oh man, that was great. Bye, Bryson.
So when this goes on, so he's just sitting there the whole time.
Yes, correct. It's just him and his twin brother.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe he's the Disney and Wikipedia guy that's shutting everything down every time you guys talk about it.
I wouldn't worry about them.
You're saying Pat's a rat, but maybe Bryson's a mole.
I think Bryson's a mole. I don't know why you guys knew about that before. I didn't even know he was watching this whole thing. He's a mole.
Niccole,
anyway, you guys, this is
there's
so
like
fun.
400 people watching this whole thing, Niccole.
I don't like it. I don't trust it. You guys tricked me. I'm getting watched by the internet.
Yeah. All right, let's see let's see.
Okay, guys. Okay, wait. So this is what I do. So I'm gonna hang up when I do this then, okay?
Niccole, do you want to plug anything? Thank you so much for coming.
I don't really have, to be honest, I don't really have anything to plug. I wrote on this show called Sherman Showcase this season. I wrote for season 2, and so watch season 1 on Hulu, and then we're gonna shoot season 2 soon, and then watch season 2 next whenever it comes out because I'll be on a couple episodes, and it's a super funny show. It's on Hulu. You'll love it. You guys will love it.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, that's all I got. Other than that, I'm just follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram if you want. Have fun. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Niccole.
Thanks for having me, you guys. Bye.
He's the best in the business. It gets me every time. I've watched the original video so many times. It never fails to hit. Best in the business. And we got it live. He did it live. That was in one take.
Yeah.
You know what she said?
What?
She said, fuck it. She said, fuck it.
He said, fuck it, let's do it live. He said, fuck it, let's do it live.
Yeah.
That was great. What a great show.
What a great show. And it's done.
Great show. It's done.
Show's done.
This is clearly not the show anymore. This is not like the show
anymore.
No.
Oh, and Patrick?
Yeah, George.
Thanks. Thanks.